accusations against Mr. Beast, and I suspect I know why this guy is shredding her now on the stream. Wait, let's see. Is your audio coming through? Let me see. Can you just say something real quick?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, good. Your audio is checking out. Oh no, I was just checking, and if you don't say anything, then your audio doesn't come through the stream, so I can't check if it's right or wrong. That was why I was like,
yeah.
I was like,
we went live already. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I decided to pop it on since we were already like kind of getting into the little topic here.
Yeah.
So the last time we talked about Rosanna Pansino was when the original set of accusations came out. So the last time we talked about Rosanna Pansino was when the original set of accusations came. What were they about? They were saying that the games are. Like, he was giving the money mostly to, like, family members and friends of family members of him and the staff that works for him, all the different, like, actors and actresses and stuff. So they were talking about how that was going on, which I've heard nothing to refute that yet. And then Rosanna Pansino happened to have been one of the people that reported how the game was rigged in one of the games she played. So, you had the one guy that came out and said, like, he was tortured in that one game. Like, that was pretty fucking weird. And, like, I could see both sides of that one. The Rosanna Pansino one, I don't know every detail, but I do know that the situation was such. They were all supposed to hide in this building, right? And it was a hide-and-seek game to get, like, the win. They were all very specifically told, you cannot hide in the ceiling. Under no circumstances are you allowed to hide in the ceiling. Yet, one specific team was allowed to hide in the ceiling, and they were the team that won so mysteriously.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So it was like it was one of those things where it was clearly it was rigged, and they were supposed to win, and that was how they rigged it. Was he would just find everybody that wasn't in the ceiling, and they had cameras, so no doubt they probably told him where everyone was, so he would find them in whatever order they'd already decided. If you're in a hide and seek show and there's fucking cameras and everything, and you're sitting there going like, well, how could that be rigged? I'm sorry, an earwig and stuff. As far as the reason they might be shredding her now, and whatever she said may or may not be true. I don't know anything about these servers or whatever because I don't follow a lot of this. Mr. Beast has teamed up with Logan Paul and some other guy that's also notorious for being a scammer. And they put out like these alternatives to Lunchables that are supposedly healthier and better for you, but like half of them are showing up with fucking mold in the cheese it's way before the expiration date on the box.
Yeah,
and not to mention that they're actually really, really fucking unhealthy for you. Like, they're not at all healthy in any respect.
Shocking.
Yeah, like the sodium, if you do, because what they do is they made it so it's super like 250 calories or something. And, like a meal is 500, even for like a little kid. Actually, little kids, you want more like 600, 650 because they need more than an adult because they're still growing, right? But if you do the math, the actual sodium is way higher than Lunchables, calorie for calorie. For depending on how much you eat, because you'd have to eat like 2 of theirs, and 2 of theirs it has like 3 times the salt. Like, it's ridiculous. But so she was outing them on that. So I would imagine this is a character assassination attempt going back because she pointed out on one of her videos that there was mold. And she used to do a lot of baking channels. I don't really care for her channel anymore. I don't like it. Got too Martha Stewart-y. She used to be a lot more like gritty and like profane and more entertaining to me, but then she got all like, what do you call it? Because she's one of those LA YouTubers, so they're all like, we want to be on TV and we want to be in movies. We got to be like family friendly and like we can't have any real personalities anymore, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that kind of gets old, and it's not. I'm not a fan of it, but what she was pretty fucking reasonable as far as like YouTubers go. She was never like a mean or lying or doing all sorts of weird sneaky shit.
Yeah.
But she might be wrong about whatever the accusation she made. That's entirely possible. People can be mistaken about that kind of stuff all the time.
If you want to, you don't have to go back and watch it or whatever, but it's pretty funny because basically what had happened with that server was like for a long time there were people like Chris Tyson and them that were in it, Mr. Beast people plus other people, right? And it was just essentially what they call, like a spicy meme fucking chat or whatever. At some point, it switched to being like an official Mr. Beast chat or whatever. And everybody who didn't work for Mr. Beast got kicked out. More people that did work for Mr. Beast.
Oh, and so they're looking at messages that are from way before that actually happened?
Yeah. In
fact, I can see that. That makes a mistake. And then you post that and you're like, they're talking about all this inappropriate shit in an official work one. But honestly, I don't give a shit what they're talking about, official or not. Unless they're involving, like, fucking minors, stealing drugs, committing some sort of felony. Like, if they're just talking dumb shit and, like, sharing porn, that's not a really professional thing to do, but I don't fucking care. It ain't my company.
None of that.
Do whatever you want to do in your own fucking company chat. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And like, unless it's illegal, it doesn't matter to me. Freedom of speech, baby. Say what you want to say.
All the spicy meme shit stopped the minute it became an official Mr. Beast.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There was only about 8 posts after that, and then it just stopped being used altogether. So Roseanne and Dogpack are not, they might be really stupid, but they're not stupid enough to not realize that.
Yeah.
They deliberately made it seem like all that was happening on an official Mr. Beast chat.
Rosanna
all the shit that happened before.
Very stupid for a very long time, just to be fair. She's not a very smart person, but it sounds like there was some misrepresentation. I could see it being misrepresentation to her too, though, because like, and I'm just being the devil's advocate. I'm not trying to be like that she's innocent. I don't know one way or the other. I'm just saying I can see it being one of those things where they're like, oh yeah, my fucking assistant told me or something, and it's like, you're an idiot. Don't fucking get involved with other YouTubers doing dumb shit like this.
Well, yeah, she actually went into that. The video that I shared, at a certain point, she went into that fucking live chat and started like accusing Nick DiOrio of being like a.
Oh, so she was whole on it. Then never mind. Yeah, never mind. Then it sounds like
she was going in there to fucking. Yeah, no, it's almost.
Those people in Hollywood are all kind of fucking screwy, though. To be fair.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that one, she was like accusing him of being a defender of pedo memes or some shit like that. It was fucking bizarre.
Defender of pedo memes?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck.
Some people get real fucking weird over that shit, like way too far. Like if you're posting pictures of your kid at the beach, they're like, "You're a pedo. Those are naked pictures." Like, it's a fucking toddler at the beach, bro. Like people share pictures of their kids. Fucking get over it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if you have a picture of your toddler like naked while you're giving them a bath. Does that count? I mean, I guess
that used to be the thing. Like, I mean, no bullshit. My mom used to actually show my friends those pictures when I was a fucking kid.
Yeah,
she thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you mean. Oh, they loved it. Fucking parents love to show pictures of their fucking.
Oh yeah, I've seen pictures of my friends when they were babies butt naked too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like, their friends' moms are just as happy to embarrass the hell out of their kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They fucking love that shit. They love, once their kids are old enough, to be embarrassed by photos of them when they're toddlers and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Younger.
It's a weird thing parents get off on. I don't understand it.
Yeah. It's fucking bizarre. Yeah. But, yeah, it's, I could not believe it, dude, when I was watching that. Because I was watching that live when it was happening. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, he lays out, like, it's impossible to not fucking be watching what he's saying and the evidence he's providing. And for her to not realize that he's absolutely right. And she, obviously put out some false shit. So the fact that she's continued to fucking talk shit in the chat, after the initial
one, chat of the Discord actively talking shit while trying to expose it.
No, in that video, the live chat of that video.
Oh, the live chat of that video. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes you have to take the L. Sometimes you just gotta take the L and admit you're wrong, because everybody can be wrong, man. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, that's why that's why I can't buy the she's just stupid defense or she got tricked defense.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't saying I wasn't using that as a defense. I was just saying as a factual point, she's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like just from what I've seen before, she's a moron.
Yeah, yeah. If I hadn't seen that video and saw her
those empty-headed Hollywood people are, they're pretty fucking dumb.
Yeah, yeah. If I had not seen that, I could still give her that plausible deniability. But the fact that she went so hard to try to fucking discredit Diorio and them, saying that they're sweeping for Keemstar and that we all love Keemstar, I'm like, yeah, Diorio's like minor acquaintances with Keemstar. Knows better than to get involved with him in business, any kind of business shit. He also put out a video fucking...
Oh, you'd have to be an absolute fool to get in bed with
shit.
any like Keemstar people. Like, those kind of people are real dodgy. Because
Yeah.
like Pansino and her crowd, there was a bunch of video gamers that were like small video gamers I used to watch. And Rosina was like friends with all of them, and she did like these really fun little sort of like short videos of her making like cakes and desserts that were like video game themed. And she would like swear and cuss and be like a normal person, and it was very fun because it was like a normal person cooking cool things in their kitchen and doing like really extravagant decorations.
Yeah, now she's gone to the dark side.
Apparently now she's gotten involved in internet drama and is going after people or some dumb shit. Yeah,
it's so fucking... Yeah, she's so fucking angry that she didn't get to... apparently, she claimed she was supposed to have finished second, and they made it look like she finished sixth or something like that. And I'm like, that's your vengeance? Like, that's what's making you this fucking vengeful to go after him?
Well, I mean, to be fair, like I mean, both could be true. You know what I mean? Like, it could be they could have rigged that game and she could be lying about this as well. So that's what I'm saying, like.
Right.
To be fair.
I don't. I even concede that might be. Yeah, that's not out of the realm of possibility at all.
That's the only thing but I don't know, because the Mr. Beast is a big target, and anytime you put his name in your mouth, you're going to get a lot more views and a lot more attention. Although her channel, I think, has a few million subs, so it's not like it's a small channel.
It's like 14. Somebody said it was like 14 million. Like,
she's not a small YouTuber. She's been on like TV and stuff. Like
that's why I'm like, how the fuck is this much? Yeah, it's weird for her to...
Again, she's an idiot.
Yeah.
To be fair, she's a fucking moron.
And she's an attractive female, so yeah, I can see her be that petty now that I think about it. Yeah. She's like 39. She's actually holding up pretty well.
And she talks like a fucking little kid now. It was just obnoxious. Yeah. It's fucking insufferable.
Dude. Oh, that's not the way she's always talked?
No, you go back to her earliest videos, if they're even still up there, and she used to talk like just a normal person.
That's fucking...
Just like a normal sort of like, like chick that's into like video games and hanging out and, just hanging out doing nerdy kind of shit and like enjoying like anime and whatnot, all that kind of nonsense. But yeah, like I said, it went to the point where it was like, YouTube is like really cracking down, and they're like, if we look like Martha Stewart, we might have a chance here. So they just turn into that sort of bland vanilla hum.
Yeah. Okay. So she's nuts. So yeah. That's.
I wouldn't necessarily take anything she says at face value, or like to be honest either.
Yeah. And that's the thing, dude. I'm like, you guys are doing Mr. Beast's work for him. Like, you're doing him. Like, obviously they don't realize it because they're still fucking going at it. Yeah. You're making it easier for him to get away with shit by putting out easily debunkable shit like this.
I would like to see some consequences for some of the stuff that's legit. But with all this silly nonsense, it seems like he's just getting the benefit of the doubt now to the point where no one is gonna, like, no authorities are gonna bother to get involved with some of these accusations and investigate. Yeah, some of the stuff is like felonious behavior.
Right. Yeah, no, I seriously wonder if they're literally being like, I can imagine a 4D chess situation where they're deliberately doing this.
And he's working with Logan Paul, so you know there's got to be something going on. Like, ain't nobody working with Logan Paul clean.
Yeah, that's definitely or KSI. Yeah. The three lunch leagues people is Mr. Beast, KSI, and fucking Logan Paul.
Yeah.
It's not surprising.
Yeah, so apparently the nutrition facts are very misleading on the label. And the claims that they've been making are very easily disproven as far as like that goes. And then, like I said, the calorie counts are like really weirdly low.
Yeah, I'm surprised
and they've been getting like
decided to go
spoiled food in them and shit. So it's weird.
Yeah, that's. So yeah, I don't even know if they're actually. I wonder if they're just doing it, putting their names on it. And
oh yeah, I don't think it's them
so
that are running the factory and making these mistakes happen. I think it's definitely whatever company they hired. Yeah. Yeah, they're not like producing these from scratch. It's some other company is just packaging their generic Lunchables with their name on it for sales purposes. No doubt.
Yeah, and they know it's gonna sell. It's those fucking 3 guys.
They're probably getting it done in China, which is why all these weird scammy fucking food things are going on, because that's where you get everything cheap. And China is notorious for food scams, like just so many.
Indeed. Samaj, how's it going? You're here way early.
Yeah, well, it's I thought I'd hop in a little bit. It's Halloween. I'm gonna be handing out candy. Yeah. So in another 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I'll have to go out there and start the watch.
Oh, there's actually people that do Halloween in your area that still like run around from neighborhood to neighborhood, like house to house and stuff. Because like in my neighborhood, we haven't we might give out candy to 1 or 2 kids the whole night, and it used to be like all night long, and now it's none.
It's definitely
I think it's been at least 20 years since we've had a single trick or treater at our house. It's been at least 20 years.
It depends on what part of the city you live on. The place I was at previously, there was like no kids, although it was a shady neighborhood, so I'm not surprised. The house before that, which was a lovely neighborhood, no kids shop there. They all went to the mall. But in this area, there's lots of families that come by and lots of kids. So this is the most we usually ever get.
We used to get kids all night long. That was the part that made it weird. Yeah. Like 10 years ago, it just dried up.
Yeah, no, and how many people that actually give out candy, dude? It's, like when I was a kid, it would be like maybe one house out of 10 wasn't giving out candy, right? And now it's like the exact, like when I was taking my kids, it was like almost the exact opposite.
Oh, weird.
Like maybe 1 out of 10 was actually, dude, it's insane. Like it's almost the opposite. Like maybe 1 out of, like a vast majority of houses are not.
That's cool though that Samaj still gets to hand out candy, because that was always kind of fun. Seeing like the fucking people in their costumes and the parents and the kids walking around. And, in my neighborhood there was a thing where all the dads would go around from house to house while the kids were trick or treating and do trick or shotting. Where they would where they'd go to the house and get a shot of liquor at each house. They would serve different shots at each house. So it was kind of fun.
Fun for the parents too.
Yeah, and they would get all smashed up, and they would take turns going. So like, you know, like it wasn't really coordinated, but you always knew like one dad would be out going to house to house, and then like a few minutes later another dad would end up going out, and they somehow managed to stagger it enough that like everybody got like that opportunity.
Right. Oh fuck. Yeah, no. When I first, my first year when I had bought my house, I gave out like full bars, dude, because I remember how fucking awesome that was as a kid. Because it hardly ever happened. But I got like full like Snickers bars or something, and I was giving out like full bars of candy, just to kind of like give back, I guess, because I fucking loved it again when it happened to me when I was a kid. But yeah, apparently what's happening is nobody's really doing trick-or-treating in their own neighborhoods, like especially the poorer families or whatever you want to call them.
Really?
Yeah, so they'll go into the affluent neighborhoods or whatever, and you know, different neighborhoods and shit where the well-to-do people are. And so, like, I guess a lot of those people that live in those places are like pissed off. I've gotten like angry about that.
I'm candy for the poor kids. What do you think I am?
Yeah.
You think this is a charity? Like, poor people, stop coming to my house.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
I'm sure that's just weird. Yeah, I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah,
fucking people are weird.
I'm like, man. Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're doing well. You should be like a little thankful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're.
Oh, I mean, it's not even like because you're doing well, you owe it to them. It's just like, is it really that big of a deal to spend like, an extra $20 on candy that you're handing out so that you get to see all the kids from your neighborhood or whatever? Like, yeah, there's gonna be other kids that aren't in your neighborhood, but is it really that big a deal? Like, you're gonna
Yeah, it's fucking
be mad
so
about
weird,
it. It's
dude.
weird to be mad about it to me. That's the part I don't.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
If they were going up and stealing your shit and breaking pumpkins and egging your fucking house or something, yeah, oh, fucking for sure, man. That's a real pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah, and although, nobody wants to leave candy out anymore because nobody's going to take just one. Like the first, very quickly somebody's just going to grab all of it.
That's one that's always been true, and I don't know why people have ever expected it to be true.
Yeah.
Because I know when I was a little kid in like the
odd.
fucking 80s, and I was going around, kids were taking way more than one candy out of those bowls. Those bowls were always empty by the time I got there.
Yeah, parents would literally do it and go up and grab the whole bowl and just pour it into their kid's bag.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yep.
I'm like, God,
seen their parents
dude.
do it.
I think it was last year they had the Ring camera, and someone actually caught an entire, a family came by and they just took all the candy out of the candy bowl.
Yeah.
Even though they please
put
take
them on
one.
blast on fucking internet. And, they called the police?
No, why would you call the police? I mean, that's
no, they just put out the video, I assume. Yeah.
What was caught on the video afterwards is that apparently one of the neighbors had saw this and he brought over a bag full of candy and refilled the bowl.
Oh, that was nice of the neighbor.
Yeah.
Actually. And then somebody else snagged the whole thing 5 minutes later.
Yeah, it was one of the few times where I was not like a degenerate piece of shit, and I did not actually steal the whole candy bowl. When I pull up to those houses, if they still had candy, I'd just take one or two.
Not to get you in trouble or nothing, but what do you assume the race was of the family that took all the candy?
I'm gonna assume they were black. I know that's horrible, but I'm
that's
pretty sure.
It's exactly what happened. Yeah. So, but there you go. But on a side note, did you guys hear about the family that essentially started the whole Halloween craze in Australia?
No, I didn't know there was a family that started the whole Halloween craze in Australia.
Well, there was actually, I think it was a couple of households. I think it was 3 of them that moved into a little cul-de-sac. They lived in different parts of the neighborhood, but they just sort of brought over. They thought, well, we want to do Halloween, and they knew they'd had kids, so they just sort of brought they couldn't get little chocolate bars, so they got full chocolate bars, and they said we'll give it to our kids and our friends' kids, and anyone that our kid comes by, we'll just give them a chocolate bar. Well, apparently it was on the news. They said that, oh yes, families from America are coming over and they're doing the little tradition, handing out candy. They had so many kids come over there for a free chocolate bar. They just they couldn't keep it up. It was just they ran out within moments, but it created a huge thing. It was a bit of a block party. Everyone had fun, and they all dressed up, and so it was a fun little thing. And then it got bigger the next year because now this became a thing, and so they're thinking it's going to be a tradition. They're dressing up and all that, and it just sort of grew. And then every other household did, the whole neighborhood did, and the following neighborhood, it just sort of exploded. Year after year, just got big, and that's why Australia was a thing. It was literally imported from America, and it just sort of blew up.
That's cool.
And that's
it's got to start somewhere.
Well, and it wasn't expected,
and that's kind of cool.
That's what I thought, and I thought, oh, okay, so it was just a neat little thing, and they've done it ever since. And this was 90s, I think it happened. Because you have to remember, not everyone does Halloween. So, similar. It's a similar situation.
When did it start here? Because it was definitely like that. Obviously, I was born in '76, so obviously it's been at least that long.
Trick or treating, I think it goes back to at least the 50s, because I could swear I've seen some of those old black and white shows had trick or treating and stuff.
Oh, it's a long. I guarantee it happened long before any of us was ever born, or even our grandparents. It's been around for quite a while. It was just it's just it's something that evolved over time, and so it's just a thing about that. But I was going to say there was a similar situation in Japan that did. Sorry, my dog's barking. in Japan, they import Halloween over there as well, but the government there wanted to discourage it because they think dressing up and taking stuff like free candy from strangers is a very inappropriate thing to be doing. So they tried to ban it. No teenager fucking listened to that.
Oh, really? And nobody does it?
No, they do. No, so
no,
that
people listen to the band. Yeah.
no, because all the teenagers, none of them obeyed it. None.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, because the quickest
rebelled.
way to make it so everybody does it is to ban it.
Exactly, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened. And the big one was that big famous station in Japan called Shibuya Station, and that was that's that one with the great big crosswalks and the huge skyscrapers. And it's just this big thing that you always see about when people travel to Japan.
Yeah,
And
you see it in like
fucking,
Japanese anime all the time.
exactly. And the kids swarmed there. They dressed up, even though they tried to ban it. They tried they couldn't really find the kids because they were minors. So it's like, who's to say you have to, can't really write tickets and all that. So they did what they could, but the law said that you couldn't really do a whole lot. And the kids pretty much like dominate. And even then, it's a big thing. In fact, in Japan, it's become a fashion statement where if you have to dress up, you have to dress up as good as you possibly can. Well, over here, it's like back when I was a kid, you can get like a small throwaway plastic mask of your favorite superhero and a T-shirt that says Superman or whatever. In Japan, they treat it like it's a huge thing. They try it's like an art form. They are obsessed about trying to make it look as good as possible.
Oh, yeah. That is sort of like the Japanese thing. It's like, if you're going to fucking do it, bitch, do it right.
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing about Japan, yeah. And good on them for that, but yeah.
Looks like it goes back as far as the 1500s, the 16th century, Scotland and Ireland, where the tradition of guising, so like Guise, guising, going house to house on Halloween, putting on a small performance to be rewarded with food or treats. Yeah, it goes back that far. So yeah, I guess when they came over in America, sometime in the 1800s. I'm not getting a specific date yet, but yeah, it goes back at least to the 1800s. Irish, immigrants and that coming over, bringing that with them.
Makes sense.
No specific date, but definitely at least since the 1800s. So interesting.
Yeah, crazy. Kind of cool though. It's so it probably originated in like the UK then, right? Or
well, Scotland and Ireland. I guess.
And Ireland, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right now, there's like when I was talking about Japan and the whole like teenagers rebelling. There's a similar thing going on in China right now, except they don't have those same you can't harm the kids kind of thing. You can pretty much do whatever you want. So I mean, yeah, they're cracking down on Halloween, and the teenagers are trying to rebel, but the fucking cops don't give a fuck. So they can't really get away with it like they did in Japan.
Yeah, makes sense.
They're trying to. I mean, teenagers in China really fucking wanna do Halloween. They really want to dress up and have a good time. And
well, Halloween, the culture in China is very much about like grifting and getting free shit. So the concept of getting free candy, oh my god, that's got to be like crack for the grab hags and shit.
I mean, free anything in Japan.
Well, or anything you can steal in China. Like it's like the whole there's like a saying or something in their culture, like if you can take it, take it.
Yeah, if you can get away with it.
And it's like one of the oldest sayings in their culture. Yeah, if you can get away with ripping people off, fucking rip people off.
Like it's almost like it's almost immoral to not scam somebody that you can scam.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
fucking.
It's pretty degenerate. From our point of view, and from most people's point of view.
Yeah. China's culture is just horrible, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's where you.
Yeah, it really does seem to be like, well, don't do it to like your friends and family if you can avoid it. Like even that would probably have a fucking qualifier.
Yeah, probably. It's pretty fucked up. Like their culture is really bad. Like if There was this like farmer who ended up getting like his whole field robbed because the grab hags decided to go out and start like grabbing corn because he didn't have a fence up anymore.
Oh wow!
And so they just went out and fucking stripped his field of like all the crops and shit.
They have this philosophy of like you can't own private property, so because the government pretty much owns it, but because they take down that whole private property thing, and then you can't really claim ownership over stuff unless you're the government. And even at that, like if you're a private farmer, government ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, it was really sad. Like he just was like, because like whether the government owns it or not, he still ends up with nothing at the end of the year and destitute and fucking starving to death with his family because his crop is all gone. Like no one's gonna give him anything. So that's the problem with communism is the government owns everything, but nobody ever really gets anything.
Well, and it's like
all a bunch of horse shit. There's no actual like profits to go around to anybody,
and there's no motivation to participate because what's the point? You don't get anything out of it. You're gonna get the exact same thing as everyone else, and that's like, where's the motivation for that? There's none. That's why there's the hashtag. I don't know what it is in Chinese, but it translates into "let it rot." It's like if you know that there's a. It's like it's a similar term they use in basketball over there because it's like if you know you're not going to win, they just sort of say like let it rot or just lose the whole thing. Just do your part, but don't put in any effort or whatever.
Yeah, there's like a whole subculture of giving up on life entirely, essentially.
Yeah. Well, even like when Stalin took over in Russia, from what I understand. Like the first thing they fucking seem to do in these situations is like just get rid of anybody that's even remotely an intellectual and that kind of thing. And basically they wanted to, communize all the farms, which I would have thought like, why don't you just let the farmers continue to farm? But they didn't. They took them away and like brought in somebody in that didn't know what the fuck they were doing to run these farms.
Well, what do you think is going to happen in South Africa as they slowly allow all the ignorant retards from the city to go out and just fucking rob the farmers and kill them all? And they're like, we'll just give the farmers to indigenous people that don't have any fucking idea how to grow food. Good fucking plan, buddy. When you all are starving to death, don't fucking cry to us.
Indeed.
Yeah, like how many millions of people died in Russia from that shit?
Same thing happened in what do you call it? The Khmer Rouge in Cambodia when like they forced everybody to become rural farmers. So there were like doctors and scientists and shit, and they're like, no, you're farmers now. And they're like, but we don't know how to farm. We're fucking doctors and scientists.
Yeah, like I think we're still needed at some level. Yes.
Yeah, like you're going to have people that get sick, right?
Everybody
like you want doctors, right? No, we don't want doctors. We need rural farmers. Literally 100% of our people should all be farmers.
Funny how that works. I gotta go and say hi to Gamey and the crew before I go out and hand out trick-or-treating.
Hey man, have fun. Enjoy your Halloween. May it be
will do. Talk to y'all later.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's a trip though. He gets to still hand out fucking candy and stuff to little kids. I'm not a fan of children, but like, it was always kind of fun on Halloween to see like a bunch of like wacky costumes and shit. That was kind of fun.
Right.
One year I did the candy bowl, but I dressed as a scarecrow and stuffed like straw sticking out of my sleeves and my collar and my pant legs, and hung out with the candy bowl like on my lap. So they'd come up and it'd look like there was a scarecrow with like leaning back with his arms out, and the candy bowl just sat on top of it. And as soon as they got close enough and started to reach, like, one candy only. Fucking. Oh, goddamn.
Fucking giving kids heart attacks, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like, what's that? It smells a little like your kid shit himself. Like. Okay, maybe not that bad. But we also did, like, haunted houses when I was younger and still, like, enjoyed Halloween and stuff. Where we would clear out, like, me and my friends would all get together clear out the entire garage, and because it's like a 2-car garage, so it's not huge, but it's not tiny. And we would staple up black trash bags all around all the walls, so it was just one big black room, and then set up like pathways to walk back and forth in it, so that you could make it last longer and have little like areas where they would do like spooky things, like, you know, put your hands in the grapes, it's eyeballs, ooh, you know, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. So, like spaghetti for
and it's crazy now, because now like we might get 1 or 2 kids on Halloween night that come through, or 1 or 2 families. So it might be like, you know, 8 kids total, but it's like split between like 2 different families that walked across, came across. So yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, the neighborhood I'm in is not like it's kind of a bunch of little patchwork fucking little houses. You know what I mean? It's not a planned development.
You're not in suburbia like I am. Yeah.
So yeah, we're well out of we're good 7 or 8 miles out of the town proper. So yeah, we used to get them, but yeah, again, the houses are pretty spread out, and yeah, if I was a fucking parent, I wouldn't bother with this area either. But yeah, it always
COVID
amazed
really
me.
dealt the death blow, but it was already starting to go down before that.
Oh man, I remember one year I was my son wanted to go at Sub-Zero, and I was like confused by from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And I was confused why there weren't any kids costumes of Sub-Zero.
Really? That's weird. Oh, because they just don't have a demand anymore, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it was just the fact that, like, I guess they thought kids weren't actually playing the game for some reason.
Oh, come on. There's all that blood. Of course kids are fucking playing that game. What are you kidding me?
I assume that's why they didn't want to do it or something. Like, they thought it would be, like, people would complain or something.
Oh, people always fucking whine about whatever. Like, there's no way to avoid the whiny bitches out there these days, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I was pretty surprised. I'm like, oh, I guess it is supposed to technically be for, like, adults or whatever, so maybe that's why. But yeah, I managed to get together a nice little costume for him.
Oh, that's cool.
People knew who he was. Yeah, it took a little work. And luckily, Sub-Zero had added the sword at some point, where he has a sword attack. So yeah, I got him a little blue sword, a sword with like a blue handle and shit.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it turned out all right.
Makes sense. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. That's because part of one of the things that I really enjoyed when I was super little was making the costume.
Yeah, coming up with the idea and then actually, usually getting your parents to complete it. But yeah, absolutely.
Like one year I wanted to be Gandalf the Wizard, and so my parents bought like a fake beard and a little robe and a hat from like a secondhand store, and then glued fake eyebrows on me and a little fake mustache and beard, and I was Gandalf for the. Of course, I was in like 2nd grade, and at the time, Lord of the Rings was not a thing at all. The fact that I read the Lord of the Rings trilogy when I was in kindergarten was fucking bizarre, and none of the other kids knew what the fuck I was. They were like, "What are you? You're just an old man."
Yeah.
I'm Gandalf, the wizard from Lord of the Rings, and they're like, "Fucking what?"
Yeah, dude. When I actually growing up, like I had heard about Lord of the Rings, but I thought it sounded stupid. Because I think the first thing I learned about were the talking trees, and I'm like, talking trees? What the fuck? That's fucking retarded. So I just never got into it at all.
Yeah,
I just kind of dismissed it for that one fucking reason. But yeah, once it came out, the movies and shit. Basically, I remember I was in a Blockbuster or Hollywood, one of those places that doesn't exist anymore. And I was like, oh, the Lord of the Rings movie's out. And I was talking on with my friends on the phone as I was doing it. And one of my friends was like, dude, just buy it. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, dude, just buy it. Trust me.
Like, you're gonna like it when you finally do get a chance. You're gonna fucking love it. Don't waste your time fucking dipping your toe in. Just dive. Yeah, dive.
So I'm like, all right, there's a guy who's judgment I trusted on such things. So I'm like, all right. So yeah, I watched that and I'm like, holy fuck, this is amazing, dude. I fucking love this shit. And luckily, it was right before the second one came out. So basically, it was like, I don't know, maybe a week or two later when the Two Towers came out.
Yeah.
And I watched that. I went to it the day it came out, and then I watched that, and I'm like, holy fuck, because I didn't know what the fucking story was, because I again actively avoided it basically until then. So I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm not waiting a fucking year to find out how this shit ends. So yeah, I went and bought the books. Literally from The Hobbit all the way through. So I bought all four of them. The Hobbit and
the makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually went back and read it from The Hobbit all the way through The Return of the King. And I don't know, a couple weeks. It was pretty quick, dude, because I was really into that shit.
Yeah. If you're super into a book,
crazy.
it goes fast. If you're a reader.
Yeah. And I don't do it much now, but yeah, I definitely used to read constantly. And, I was like, holy shit, dude.
My tinnitus makes it really hard for me to sit down and read, so it's like I don't read a lot of books. It's a lot easier for me to like listen to a book on tape or watch a video of somebody doing something like telling a story instead.
Makes sense, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it was crazy because I had no interest in that shit, and then I'm like, this is one of my, it turned out to one of my favorite fucking things ever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's such a compelling and like deep story too. So once you finally do get into that kind of thing, it's
yeah. Have you read the Silmarillion or listened to whatever the Silmarillion?
No, I haven't. I have not.
Okay. All right, that one's because it's essentially like the Bible. It's kind of like the Old Testament. You know what I mean? It goes back to the beginning and fucking like how everything was formed and how all that shit happened.
Oh,
it's a really, it's a slow read. It's definitely a slow read.
That's probably why I never read it, because I know I've heard of it before, and from everything I've seen, it just did not look that interesting to me.
No, there's interesting parts in it, but it's again drawn out far more than.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of like, well, hey, if you want to hang out and read 50 pages of garbage, you could finally get to like the really good part, like
yeah. No, because there's definitely good shit in there. Dude,
no, I'm not doubting that. I'm just too like I'm not a fan of the I gotta read through the garbage to get to the good stuff. I just want a book that has like fun stuff and good stuff. Like I don't want to waste my time on a bunch of like pointless nonsense.
Yeah, and obviously the beginning starts off pretty strong with how the world's created, with the the main god guy having all his demigods playing the song or whatever, and then Melkor, the Sauron's boss back in the day.
Yeah,
is a little fucking, he's the Lucifer character essentially.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was like the devil guy, but Lucifer sounds better.
Trying to play his own themes into it and trying to force his own shit into it. But yeah, no, it's interesting, dude. But then
I like the idea now. I think if I were to go back and check it out now, I would probably be much more interested in it, because like I understand more about like religion and all those kind of things than I did when I was a kid. But like I know when I was a kid, it just did not appeal to me at all. Like none of that shit did.
Yeah, it's again, it's going to be similar to reading like the Old Testament, dude. I mean, it's more interesting than that, I would imagine. Testament, maybe it's more interesting. I'd imagine it's also a very slow read in between anything interesting.
If I were to go back with the Silmarillion now, there's no fucking way I would be reading it. I would 100% be listening to it on like a video or a tape or something like that. Like play a YouTube video of somebody reading it, like book on tape or something. There's no way I would want to. Yeah, like I can't imagine why I would want to do that any other way.
Pretty sure there was somebody that had acted out the Silmarillion. Let me see. Can't remember where it was, but let me see if I can find it again. Because that makes it a little easier if somebody's just acted. You know what I mean? Somebody bothered to act out the whole fucking thing, or shoot it as a movie essentially.
Oh yeah.
I thought I saw it somewhere, but let's see. You're probably better off reading a summary like this one says.
I think
about
what I
18
would do
minutes.
is, if I'm going to do it now, I would go and look on YouTube, and I'm sure somewhere someone has something that will give me all of what I want from the Silmarillion. You know what I mean? Like, there's probably like a
Yeah.
what do you call it?
Yeah, synopsis kind of thing.
Yeah, like a synopsis or
something.
something along those lines, where it's like a abridged version. Like, here's all the things that actually are important and matter, and we're gonna just kind of gloss over and explain the stuff that isn't really super cool, and we're not gonna waste a bunch of time dwelling on it because it's just not that important, you know.
Right.
So you get like a much shorter version of it, and it's much more of like, here's the good parts, and here's just a brief explanation of the really long, drawn out, pointless nonsense that nobody wants to fucking read. Because there's a lot of that stuff. Like, you read the Bible, you're not reading Genesis unless you're a fucking psycho.
Right. Yeah, or that you just have to for whatever reason.
Yeah. If you're compelled to for some other reason, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that was the first one that came up, so I had like over 1 million views, so I assume it's probably halfway decent. It looks like about 17 minutes.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, it's you learn about like where Shelob came from, like the original spider.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of Lord of the Ring videos where people are describing stuff and talking about certain sort of weird things that, like, when you read the books, there's stuff that you don't know, and so certain things may not make that much sense. In a lot of cases, a lot of stuff just doesn't make a lot of sense. Where you're like, why would they fucking do that? That doesn't make any sense. And you're like, oh, now when you look at this information that you didn't know about the past and the religion and the powerful beings, because they were all sort of like angels, essentially, more or less. They were kind of angels, I think, right?
Yeah, it's more like there's like the main god and some demigods.
Yeah. They're like demigods. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then the Valar are like the demigods. That's like Melkor and Tulkas and anyways, Manwë.
Was it like?
And then there's then the ones below them, the Maiar, are more like angels, I guess, and that's like Gandalf and Saruman are Maiar. Sauron, Gandalf, Saruman, those were all Maiar. So those are again underneath the Valar, the demigods.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're closer to angels. Not exactly, but close enough, I guess. But that was essentially it. I think there was so there's a bunch of those, and obviously the wizards were sent over, or they were sent over and called wizards, but they're essentially Maiar characters. So essentially angels.
Makes sense.
And again, each of the Valar are the kind of demigods, I guess, or maybe you call them the higher choir of angels or whatever the fuck, maybe. But each of them had like an area of expertise. Like some of them were like the fucking. There's the ocean guy. There's the rivers and lakes and other streams guy and fucking their gal. There's the one that likes to, help shit grow person. And that, you know what I mean? Like they all have their own separate little niches or whatever that they were concerned with.
Yeah. Well, wasn't Tom Bombadil one of those characters? Like, wasn't he one of those sort of like creatures in his own way?
Who?
Tom Bombadil.
I don't think
like he was really like a being of the forest. Like he was like like the forests. Like the god of the forest, but he was also the forest itself or something. He couldn't leave and he wouldn't get involved in anything else because while he was super powerful he was, I mean, he wasn't one of those exalted higher beings, but he was kind of like on that same sort of like he wasn't really like a person.
I feel from what I understand is Tolkien deliberately left his like where he came from and who he was. He deliberately left it on not clarified.
But I thought they talked about
it's like
it,
a
the way
mystery.
that I've heard it described from like the Silmarillion and people talking about it was they were like he was essentially like the Gandalf and the wizards and stuff, but specifically for that one area, and was a higher order of being than any of like Gandalf's cronies. So like he was more powerful than like Saruman or Sauron or Gandalf or any of those people, but he just was only cared about that one area.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, because they talk about like why didn't give the fucking ring to Tom Bombadil?
Yeah. It's like mentioned in a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah, so because he's like, no, he'd forget about it or forget why it mattered and wouldn't understand like why it matters, that kind of shit.
Yeah, because it doesn't involve his forest, so it was kind of like, yeah, whatever, don't care. Why are you giving me this dumb shit?
Yeah, because again, he can still see Frodo when Frodo puts the ring on, and when he puts the ring on, he doesn't disappear.
Yeah, so, like nothing happens. Kind of he's just not.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but yeah, I was just a couple weeks ago I'd come across that, because basically the impression I got is Tolkien deliberately never spelled out specifically who he was, where he came from, and all that shit.
Yeah. But did he cover it in the Silmarillion? I thought he covered it in the Silmarillion, but
I don't remember Tom Bombadil.
Maybe I did not, because I've obviously never read the Silmarillion. Maybe I misheard from that other video.
Yeah, I don't remember him being in it. It could have been though, but there's a lot in there. It's a pretty long book. Let me see, Silmarillion. But yeah, the last I saw is that was a deliberate choice of Tolkien was to not explain.
Yeah, no, I know.
Where it came from. Yeah, he's not explicitly meant. Yeah, it says here. Character in the Legendarium, but he is not explicitly mentioned in the Silmarillion.
Okay, so he didn't get it wasn't in the Silmarillion. Whenever I misheard that or did not understand exactly what it was they were talking about.
Say Tom Bombadil's origins and nature are known to have existed before the Dark Lord and the First Reign. He calls himself the Eldest, and his Sindarin name. Sindarin is one form of the elves, if you're not familiar. One of the groups of elves. Sindarin name is Larwain Ben Adar, which means oldest and fatherless. Yeah, unaffected by the power of the ring. Yeah, by accident. And seems to orchestrate events by accident or acts of nature. Okay. He's a cipher for Tolkien himself, or a representation of God in Middle-earth. So maybe closer to Jesus?
Well, no, I think that Tolkien.
He's definitely
Tolkien was a Christian, but his religion that he created was far from it.
Right.
in more pagan religions, there's sort of these spirits of the land, where they're like gods, but they're tied to a specific geographical area. So, like, mountain might have the old man of the mountain, and that might be the guy who lives on the mountain, but he's also the mountain. And he's also in charge of the mountain, and he's like a god of the mountain, but he doesn't really understand human things, because he doesn't understand human time, because he's, ageless, and as long as you don't fuck with the mountain, he won't fuck with you, because he doesn't really care about anything but the mountain. And whereas Tom Bombadil is kind of the same thing, where he's like, oh, hey, it's great to see all these cool people coming through and enjoying my forest. And it's cool, and I'm not going to do anything or get involved in anything because they're just, passing through. But if somebody were to go in and start cutting down trees or, like, killing, like, wild areas or lighting shit on fire, he might go out and, like, lay fucking waste to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to remember, because in the Lord of the Rings, like, the trees are essentially sentient, and they're closing in and, like, about to kill the hobbits, like Frodo and Sam and fucking Merry and Pippin. And then Tom Bombadil comes along and, like, sings his song or whatever, because that's his power. He sings songs and shit happens. And, like, gets him out of it. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think they were trying to start a fire or something. And the trees were revolting against it and, like, folding in on them to try to trap him and kill him.
Are you sure that's not with the Forest of the Treants? I don't remember that. Yeah, I don't remember enough to say one way or the other, so, I mean, you're more likely to be right than I am at this point, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely remember something like that. Let's see.
Because I
But yeah,
know
I
there
don't
was
trust
a
my memory.
thing where, like, when they were going through the Elven Forest, or no, when they were going through the Fangorn Forest, Gimli, and this was in the movies, I don't remember if it was in the books too, but Gimli was talking about getting a fire started, and you could hear the forest creaking in anger and getting more and more upset the longer he was talking about getting a fire going. Like it became enraged that he might start a fire in the forest, and they were like, "You gotta fucking shut the fuck up, Gimli. You're gonna get us killed by these goddamn trees."
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to see.
But the Tom
God damn it.
Bombadil thing, that was in I forget where that was.
Damn it. In one letter, he hints. Okay, in one letter, Tolkien hints that Tom is the spirit of the Oxford and Berkshire countryside, which apparently was vanishing due to human occupation or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Says, okay, that's interesting. Says, I don't know about that. God damn it. Get to the fucking point. Or let's go through with the hobbits on the journey. Comes to the rescue from Old Man Willow is a tree that had nearly swallowed Merry and Pippin. Okay, as the end of the, it doesn't say about what happened, but okay. So yeah, that's the Old Man Willow was obviously a sentient tree that was trying to, about to kill him for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure it was them about to start a fire, but maybe
Makes
not.
sense. Fits for like a willow tree, like their motivation.
Yeah, that is definitely their Willow Tree's personality.
Well, I mean, it's just as a tree, you can understand. Like you
I
can,
know,
as a
dude.
person, understand a tree
Oh
being
yeah,
mad about fire. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
oh
Like
yeah,
it fits that sort of like, yeah, if you're gonna make a tree have motivation, well, being against fire, yeah, makes sense. Be very upset if somebody was gonna light me and my friends on fire.
Arrow White. Let's see. Okay, that's not going to tell me what happened. It didn't say why Old Man Willow was attacking him, but yeah, that's essentially what happened. He saved them from being killed by a sentient willow tree. Yeah.
Makes sense.
I should go back and do that because I don't
Lot
fucking
of
remember
sentient fucking trees out there
specifics.
getting upset at people. More normal thing that happens to everybody.
What was one of the other ones? The Entwives apparently disappeared. They got bored with whatever the Ents were doing and just took off to the east or the west,
Yeah, there's like a
whichever
whole
way.
thing about like a lot of people were really curious about where the Ents went and ended up, and so there was a lot of people that wrote him and asked questions about that.
Yeah, I know the Entwives were more concerned with. Well, obviously the Ents were concerned with the trees. The Entwives were more concerned with the smaller shit that grew, like people's gardens and like shit that would grow. Um, the smaller plants
Yeah,
of Middle Earth. But then apparently they got bored with whatever the Ents were doing, and they took off to the other side. Is it to the west or the east? Right, the east would be where all the bad shit's supposed to be, right? Yeah.
I can't
But they went
remember.
somewhere east and just have never heard about it because I know like Treebeard at one point when there's somebody was saying they're going somewhere to to that way. Like, all right, if you hear anything about the Entwives, you know, let us know.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'm not that big of like an aficionado.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's definitely one of my favorites, but I have not kind of boned up again on all the lore in quite a long time. Right. Did we talk about Sarah Boone? Again, no, that happened right after last week's show. I think they found her guilty.
Yeah. That was after the show. Yeah, I was happy to hear
Yeah,
that. That was pretty fucking awesome. I was like, I'm glad they found her guilty, and I don't know what she was sentenced to.
yeah, that's not apparently, dude. I don't know why it's so spread out, but yeah, like the sentencing hearing is like early December.
Oh
So they do
wow!
a separate one, like like a month and a half later, apparently,
So I
for the sentencing.
believe I'm gonna guess at least here that it has something to do with like an appeals process. Like there's we expect appeals, and it gives time for them to have appeals to potentially overturn the guilty verdict before they've even started the sentencing process. To sort of like this way we won't have
Yeah, it
started
could be.
this and then have to like go back and undo all this shit that we just did. But
She really does
I
look like
could
Zorg,
be wrong
though.
on that. I could be completely wrong on that. Fucking who knows?
She definitely looks like Zorg from fucking The Fifth Element, especially in court.
Yeah,
Where she wasn't allowed to put on makeup.
she fucked herself, and thank God,
Yeah, dude, that was the craziest part. Is like earlier that week, I think, or maybe like late in the previous week, they offered her a plea deal to involuntary manslaughter for like 12 years or something like that, and she just immediately turned it down. Like, didn't even consider it, dude. I was like, holy, dude, this bitch really is that delusional. This is fucking fascinating. Like, she really thinks she should get. I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. I mean, Casey Anthony didn't seem like someone that was gonna fucking be found not guilty, and that fucking happened. So I guess maybe that's what she was counting on. Like, all I need is just one juror to be a fucking moron. So I guess that's not the craziest thing, but
yeah. Well, that's that narcissism right there, baby. You know what I mean? That narcissism will fucking it'll fuck you over if you let it. Because it's like too easy to be like,
Dude,
I'm perfect. I don't need to worry about this. I'm gonna beat this no problem.
Yeah.
It's your narcissism talking.
Yeah, did
reality is, you're pretty unlikely to be found innocent if you're being prosecuted. Not necessarily
Did you
the
ever
case of
watch
whether
the
you're innocent or
interrogation?
not. Just the way the system works is it's kind of designed to fuck people over.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the interrogation of Sarah Boone? Like the next day or whatever when she went in?
I think I did, and it was disgusting. Like I could not watch the whole thing.
Yeah, it's yeah, the whole thing again. Just her talking about how she is and how she's good at everything she does. Yeah, it's very odd for the person that she allegedly loved to be killed by her, and her to just be talking constantly about herself and how fucking wonderful she is and how much she helped fucking George out and all this shit.
What was it? There was another case where this guy was. I think they think he killed somebody or something, or his kid died in his car while he was gambling in a fucking casino. He left the kid out in like 120 degree heat in the car for like 6 hours, and it was like a 4-year-old or some shit, 3 or 4-year-old. So of course the kid ended up dying because if you've ever seen casino parking lots, which I'm sure you have, they're just massive parking lots. There's nobody really patrolling anything close to being able to go check all the cars. So like the casino obviously is not responsible. But the police were there to arrest him, and he was like, well, why can't I take a shower? I just want to take a shower. Is that a big deal? You can fucking watch me take a shower if you want. And it's like, your fucking kid is dead. Like, your kid died today. And you're concerned about getting into the shower?
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting, dude. Yeah. Yeah, just completely unconcerned with anyone, even fucking children. God,
his fucking wife had stepped in and argued on his behalf, saying like he didn't know, it's just a sickness, this gambling and blah blah blah. You shouldn't keep him from seeing his kids, and like she still wants him to be able to see his fucking other kids.
Dude, yeah, that's
like
the
he
fucking
just
weird
killed your
shit.
fucking son. He just killed one of your fucking kids. You don't ever let him see those kids again. Not alone,
dude,
certainly. I can't imagine any mom in the world doing that. That blew my mind when I saw that.
Yeah, dude, when women are like that, fucking nuts. Did you ever hear the Madeline Soto case?
No.
That one was fairly
or if
popular.
I did, I don't remember
okay,
it. But I'm sure. I've probably heard about it. I just don't remember the name. Like, don't associate with the name or something.
All right, yeah. So basically, Madeline Soto was a daughter. I forget her mom's name, but let's see if I can look it up. I think like Linda Soto, something like that. But basically, like, her boyfriend or whatever, boyfriend, essentially like ended up like was raping her constantly and ended up killing her and fucking ditching her in the field somewhere. But like when the cops were interviewing her, the mom was talking about how, oh, so do we need to get a lawyer for him, or like was more concerned about fucking him being okay than her daughter being missing. And it appearing that he was responsible for it.
Yeah, it's so weird because you got to think like maybe the mom would be not interested in their kid, like would be interested in their kid's safety more, but it's weird. There's some women who are like so desperate for that relationship and that like feeling worthwhile or whatever, or like that from those people, or they're just so traumatized by the constant abuse that they feel like that either way. But there's just some women like that where they're fine with their kids being like disposable fodder for their boyfriend or husband to fucking abuse and murder and kill, and they just don't seem to care. And you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, that's really fucking weird, man.
Yeah, because like the when she's talking, when the mom is talking, I posted that just to show the three people involved: the daughter, the fucking guy on the right, and that's the least creepiest I've ever seen that guy. So that might not be the best picture, but anyways, yeah, she's talking about how for the longest time she would never let those two sleep in the same room or whatever. It's like, but this night I had to get some sleep because I had some insomnia. So I told them to go up to the bedroom upstairs and sleep there. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why are you letting this guy sleep in the same room alone with your daughter?
Nah, dude.
Like, how the fuck was that ever a fucking option?
That's so sad. It's so sad, isn't it? Because that little kid has got no one else there to protect them.
Yeah.
It's just mom and dad. It's what was the saying I heard somebody say? God is the name for father on the lips of every child.
Yeah.
Where it's like essentially like your parents are your God because they control every aspect of your life when you're a little kid.
Right. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I do not want kids, and I do not like kids. I choose not to be around them. I don't want to hang out and like get to know kids, and even ones that are my family members. I don't want to hold the babies when they fucking try to put babies in my hands. I don't fucking understand why they keep doing it.
Right. Yeah,
like you would think if somebody says, I don't want to hold that baby, that the thing you would not do is then put that baby in that person's fucking arms, right?
Yeah, no, that's fucking... Yeah, that's it's similar to like a pet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to force my grandpuppy on anybody to come across.
I'm not a huge fan of owning pets, but I'll give the pet a scratch on the head and it can hang out, and I'm not like, I don't like hate animal like dogs or cats. Certainly they're fine. Like if I'm over somewhere, I'll happily hang out and pet the dog or the cat. I just don't want to own it. So you don't give me a pet. Like you're not going to be like, oh, so I got you a puppy. Like don't fucking like why do I have to conform to whatever it is you like? I'm glad you had a kid. I'm happy for you. It looks adorable. It's great over there. I don't want to hold it. I don't want to take care of it.
Yeah, no, outside of my own. Yeah, I don't care much for kids that are outside of my own, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I'm similar, dude. Alright, there's a more representative picture of the fucking creep. Stephen Stearns. That fucking raped and ended up killing this girl.
Oh, he looks like an actor. I'm trying to place him. Oh, what was his name? In the YouTube picture, there's this actor that was from a thing, and I can't remember the thing. It's on the edge of my mind. But he was this super effeminate, like very clearly like gay guy kind of character. And he's really funny. Like I really enjoyed the guy's stuff. Like the guy's a really great actor. It's just his stuff is great, but yeah, it's slipping my mind.
All right, I'll figure it out. But yeah, that woman, the fucking mom, was far more concerned with
when that in
guy,
those cases, I think the mom
daughter
should be fucking held accountable to the same extent as the dad or the guy that did it. You know what I mean? Like he's up for murder, she should be up for the same charge. You're in the same house. You knew he was abusing her. She's told her multiple times. You knew your daughter was being abused. You 100% should be going to prison for the same amount of time, or being executed if there's an executionable crime. You know.
Yeah, it should. I mean, it's Florida, so you would think that that would be on the table. I would hope. But yeah, no, that's a very similar sentiment.
Any of those laws work, so I couldn't say. Yeah.
Like, it's like there's no way this bitch didn't know that this was going on. And how the fuck would you even ever? Because it's weird. Because she talks about how
you should be facing even more charges because you knew the abuse was going on and you didn't do anything to stop it.
For your own fucking daughter, dude. What the fuck, man? Yeah. Oh fuck, dude. It's so fucking disgusting. Yeah, but yeah, no, that's a very common sentiment. Is why isn't? Because she obviously knew, even though she wasn't admitted, it's pretty fucking obvious. Because and like one of the interrogation ones, or I guess it was, I don't know, just sitting like on a couch, so I guess it's not a regular interrogation. But she would talk about how like,
people finally realize that if you want people to give you information that they don't want to give you, making them feel comfortable and stuff like that is much better than trying to like brutally scare and torture them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, the famous Reed technique.
Yeah, where you actually get.
We'll talk a lot about the Reed technique.
Yeah, if you make them comfortable and have a conversation and slowly gain their trust to the point where they tell you shit they probably shouldn't. You're definitely gonna have a much better chance of finding the truth than if you like fucking try to scare the hell out of them and like deprive them of water and food for days at a time.
Yeah, they definitely appear very understanding. Like, no, look, we get it. Something just got out of control and something happened. We get it. We totally understand. Yeah, and so it's fun to watch. The best ones are the ones that talk about how many cop shows they watched and how many interrogations they've seen, and then they do the same exact shit. When they're being interrogated.
I don't understand the people who are like, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to talk to the police without a lawyer, so let me tell you all about this crime I committed.
Dude,
you're just like, fucking what? Police do it too, yeah.
Lawyers and police.
Because I gotta tell you, if I'm under arrest and I'm sitting in that room, I have all the time in the world. I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna fucking have a lawyer. I'm not gonna talk to him. Not answering any of their fucking questions. Whether I'm innocent or guilty, it doesn't even matter. Like, if I can be completely innocent, you cannot talk yourself out of jail. Like, once they've decided you're the guilty guy, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they're not going to bother with any other course. They're not going to even consider there's definitely
you can give them any number of alternative, plausible, potential things, and they're still going to fucking, like,
yeah, they're already honed in on you. Yeah, there was a case of, I forget what it was, but it was two family members, like two cousins or something, that had gotten lost in the woods, right? And then the dude made it back, and then the girl was still lost. They hadn't found her or the body or anything kind of shit. And these cops are going after this dude hardcore. And you could tell he was some kind of mentally disabled. Like, he was not a smart dude. He was definitely, there was something wrong with him. And so he was exceptionally stupid. But they're going at him so super hardcore and trying to fucking get him to admit that he killed her, right? And just not considering any other possibility. And then, like, 2 or 3 days later, the girl shows up, and she was just still lost. So they were completely wrong, but they were proceeding as if there was an absolute certainty that he had killed her.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
There was one where they thought the guy had killed his dad, and then the dad had just gone on a trip and hadn't called and let him know.
Yeah.
You know?
So the cops definitely get locked in on shit. So it's like, dude, what the like, you gotta at least consider the possibility that you're fucking wrong. But yeah, it's a weird thing, because again, they're probably right most of the time, at least half the time. But to think you're always right and that there's no other possibilities is fucking bizarre. Just in a level of arrogance that's fucking disturbing. Yeah, going back to it, the amount of cops and lawyers that disregard the advice that they're fully aware of, you know what I mean? They're fully aware that, they should be anyway.
Yeah.
Of the read technique or whatever, where they're pretending to be a friend, but they still don't bother to ask for a lawyer and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Wasn't there, like, there was one case, I swear, where it was like the guy was an interrogation specialist or something. Like, he was actually one of the people that did that kind of interrogation, and he still just was like, oh yeah, let me tell you everything about me, and it's like, just, blows your fucking mind, where you're like, dude, that's fucking dumb, like, bro. Like, how are you that dumb?
I have to assume they think because they're aware of it, they're not going to get caught in the trap that's being set for them. And
I guess
never really turns out to be the case. Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's their own arrogance of thinking, well, I know what they're going to be doing, and I know how to get caught somehow.
Yeah,
because I'm aware of what they're doing.
And don't get me wrong, I'm super happy that, all the ones I've ever heard about are like people who are very guilty and very despicable. Yeah. And so it's like, I'm glad they got caught. I'm glad they got busted. I'm glad it worked on them. But goddamn, how can you be that dumb? Like,
yeah. I think the only ones that I can recall seeing where they just shut up immediately was like, you remember Frankie, the one where they were fucking abusing the hell out of their kids. Like, some woman was doing. It was very. The
one where they were abusing the hell out of their kids. That really makes a.
Oh yeah. Well, this is the one where like, the husband, for some reason, they were separated but living in the same house, but not letting him see their kids. Even though in the same house. Later on, he ended up being somewhere else. And then, like, there was this woman that was running what was some kind of very cult-like counseling service or something. And, like, the kids were
it was like a documentary about the whole thing,
right? Like a, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. There was, like, this crazy documentary, and she was clearly, like, just vile and evil in every possible respect or something,
Yeah, they were definitely doing some horrific fucking shit. Like, there was literally the room the kid. There was like it was like a bank vault. Like, literally the door was like almost bank vault level fucking.
Oh yeah, that's so disturbing, because like, I literally worked a job where it was the National Script Center, and it was in a vault because it was, all the stuff that we were counting was worth actual money. And so it's like, I've been in that situation where it's like, oh yeah, you can, you're in a vault and you could potentially be stuck in here because the manager walked out the room, and I left because I was like, I'm not putting myself in that kind of dangerous situation as an adult. You know, like as an adult, I was like, this is exceptionally dangerous. You know, all it takes is one fire, and we're all fucking dead because she decided to lock a vault with everyone in there and disregard her job. Like, hell no, I ain't gonna hang out there.
Fuck no, dude. Yeah, but so that one was crazy. But the reason I bring it up is, yeah, Frankie is literally like, wouldn't answer even the most basic questions. Just like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not even saying that she's not saying anything for the longest time. And then finally being like, I want a lawyer. Like, that's all she would say. Like, hey, do you want water? Are you hungry or anything? And she would literally just not answer it. And I'm like, how does that bitch, how is she smarter than the fucking, like, or more wiser on this shit than, you know, actual cops or actual interrogation people or
mind-blowing,
lawyers?
is it not? Mind-blowing.
Yeah. Yeah, has that case been? I feel like she was already found guilty, but I can't remember. I'm pretty sure she was, but let me see. It was fairly recently, so. But yeah, they had like a huge fucking YouTube channel, where the abuse was fairly obvious. Let's see what happened. 8 Passengers was the name of the show. Okay. Really, Frank, I don't care about the kids. I mean, I do, but it's not the information I'm looking for.
Yeah.
God damn it. Fuck. Let's see, sentence, maybe. Ruby Frankie, sentence. Come on. Oh, yeah.
Her YouTube channel was all about, I'm the strictest authoritarian parent on the planet kind of thing. And it was like all about, like, you know, disciplining kids, and everybody was like, oh, she's so amazing, and look how well behaved her kids are. It's like, well, she's been torturing them systematically for years. They're terrified to do anything. Right. Of course they're well behaved, you fucking whack jobs. You know, like, well,
Jody Hildebrandt was the crazy bitch that was running the cult like counseling shit. They both, it's a sentence to up to 30 years in prison. So that's good.
Man, I honestly, like, I am a big proponent of the idea that if you're abusing children in a terrible way to the point where they got to put you in prison, we should just never let them back out.
Yeah.
And we should absolutely never allow them back with their kids until their kids are well past, like, their 20s. You know, like, one of the things that blows my mind is the number of times where they'll, like, arrest somebody for child abuse and, like, put them in jail for, like, 2 years and let them back out, and they're like, oh, I've changed, give me back my kids. And then they give them back their kids, and then they fucking murder their kids, or they abuse them more for, like, the rest of the fucking life.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking nuts.
I think if there's something in your head that's broken enough that you're willing to, like, hurt little kids, fucking execute that guy or woman.
Dude.
I don't want to be sexist. I want to be, you know, equal opportunity for execution there. But I really do believe you should execute child abusers, child molesters. Like, because that's...
Yeah, I'd be okay with it.
If you're an adult and that has occurred as an okay thing to do, then done. You know, we don't need you in society. You don't serve a purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely a one-strike-you're-out situation, dude, in my opinion.
The only thing that's going to happen with that is they're going to fucking destroy some poor kid to the point where when they grow up, they're going to be just as bad. You know, it's like it's going to pass it on, and it's going to keep that cycle going. So anything you can do to break that cycle is good, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially since the recidivism rate is so astronomically high.
Yep. It's too damn high.
The one out of 100.
The one out of 100 or whatever. Is too damn high. Sorry.
Like, it's insanely high, though.
Yeah, it's well over 50%. It's like 60 or 70% or something like that, or 80.
Well, I think like a molestation and shit is way even higher than that.
Check it out. Look it up. See, tell me if abuse is one thing, but yeah, if you're actually sexually molesting kids, yeah.
Let's see if I can look it up.
I do think it does depend on the form of abuse. If it's somebody who, like, spanks their kids too much, that's not really like
Yeah,
child abuse.
yeah.
But if it's somebody who's like chaining them to their beds and restricting them from getting enough food and, you know, doing weird shit with like, you know, you're only allowed to go to the bathroom on Wednesdays or some shit like that, you know, where it gets real fucking psycho, like that shit is, yeah, you execute that person because the only thing they're gonna do is fuck up more people.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I know the recidivism rate is insane because
Oh,
any
you
amount of
know.
recidivism is too high to start with.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But
and
I
for
think
that
as
crime,
far as child
like, yeah,
molestation,
just
it's at least 50%. Maybe I'm wrong.
let me see. Don't. Molest. Maybe this. You might not be there doing the right searches.
All right, let me see
After 3
here.
to 24. Okay, this is saying 24%. So, okay, I'm way off on what I was assuming. It looks like. Seems to
See,
indicate that
Office of
fathers who molest their daughters.
Justice.
Yeah, and it looks like I may have been way off. It's still too
Well,
high. Fuck them.
depending on where you're getting it, it could be being downplayed by some sort of like fucking Democrat cult shit.
Right, right.
Research has demonstrated that repeat offenders account for a disproportionate amount of crime, and that offenders released from prison are arrested at rates of 30 to 45 times higher than the general population.
Okay. The one
Sex
I'm looking
offender
at,
recidivism research no doubt have contributed to a lack of consensus among researchers regarding the proper interpretation of some of the research. So there are Democrats trying to downplay it and make it seem like it's lower than it is.
Okay, this one, yeah, this one's saying 100. It says overall, 42% of the total sample is 197 child molesters. 42% of the total sample were reconvicted for sexual crimes. So it's that, yeah, this is the ones that just definitely got convicted again. So it's not going to be necessarily indicative of
So the
who's
recidivism rate
actually
is about half.
Yeah, yeah, easily half, I would say.
We'll say about half
There's
because
no
you
way.
can't say it's higher than 42% without, getting into territory if you're making estimates, and we're not really qualified to make those estimates.
Yeah.
Like, at least I know I'm
I'm
not.
comfortable saying it's higher than.
But saying it's about half
yeah,
is fair. 42% could, that's about half, and there's easily enough range for whatever sort of like bullshit might also be going on there.
Yeah, because again, there's going to be people that reoffend that don't get, obviously. So, yeah, I'm comfortable with half. At least.
I've heard it from so
higher,
many different sources that it was about half that are fairly reliable sources.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, so yeah, even that many, it's enough to just say no, fuck you. You all fucking die.
Well, like I said, I feel like if you've gotten to the point where you believe that that's an acceptable way to treat a person, I don't think you have anything to give to society that we need to worry about retraining. Somebody who fucking shoplifted some cigarettes from a store, all right, I get it. You really wanted cigarettes, and maybe we can give you some job training and potentially you have an opportunity for you to like improve what you're doing with your life so that you're not wasting it. Or if you're a drug dealer or something, like there's ways to potentially bring this person around so that they're not an active detriment to the rest of the world. But yeah, if you're abusing children, I don't think there is.
Yeah, because that one's kind of a thing you're sort of born with,
Yeah, well, so the pedophilia, you can be born with that and never act on it. But clearly, if you're so fucking depraved that you just don't care, then
Yeah, no, I've seen it many times. I have all the sympathy in the world for somebody that was just born with that affliction. But that sympathy immediately ends.
Yeah, as soon as you act.
As soon as you fucking offend.
As soon as you abuse a small child, then yeah, it should be over.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that if they heard us would be like, that's insane. These people are crazy.
Yeah, no, they are crazy. They are fucked in the head, but it's not really their fault. So until they harm somebody, I feel sorry for them for being afflicted with that.
100%.
With it not being a choice of them.
100%. That's got to be miserable. I do have to agree that that was probably pretty awful.
It was really a fucked up thing to have to deal with. But again,
well, and everybody and their brother is like, yeah, I want to murder that guy. Like, so who do you tell? How do you fucking like get help? Because I think there should be some way for them to get some form of help psychologically to like help them prevent ever actively doing anything.
Yeah, well, they have counseling for that shit, right?
They do, but if you so like if I were to like be approached by somebody who wanted to like get counseling for that, I believe, and I could be wrong here, but I believe that it you have to report them and then go on like a list.
Just for having the
yeah, so if they go to like a therapist, the therapist has to fucking report it.
Okay, so even if they're not like saying they think they might offend, they have to report that?
No, if they just have sexual attraction to children.
Oh wow.
Like that's all it takes. Yeah.
Then there'd be no incentive to.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it.
Then.
Because it actively puts it in a position where you're potentially destroying your own life to report, to like go and get help, and it's like, but what if the difference between them molesting a child and not molesting a child is getting that help? You know, like what if they end up never doing anything like that because they went and got that help? That would be amazing, because ultimately the goal should be just to not have children getting molested.
Yeah. Yeah, making that a mandatory thing.
Yeah.
It's going to. It seems like that's going to cause more offenses than if you counseled these people before they ever did anything.
You would
they don't have to be put on the list.
Logically, that makes sense. So you should probably stop saying it, or somebody's going to try to put you in jail.
All right. You're like, oh, you must be one of them. That kind of thing.
Yeah. I what was it? I put a video. There was like this video where this guy got pulled over, except the cop pulled him over when he was driving the other way. So like the motorcyclist driving one way, the cop's driving the opposite way, and he pulled him over, and he ended up deciding to give him a ticket for what was it? His license plate on the back not being correct. And it's like, well, how the fuck did you know?
Oh, wow.
Why did you pull him over in the first place? You had no way of knowing there was something wrong with his license plate from where you were. And I put a comment of like, he should file a lawsuit because that's illegal. You can't, the police can't just pull you over because they want to go and search your whole vehicle and try to find as many things as they can to write you tickets for. Like, that's not the point. That's not why they're there. So they have to have an articulable crime that they're investigating to bother you and arrest you and hold you and detain you. Essentially, they have to be investigating an articulable crime, and you have to either be a witness, a victim, or the perpetrator for them to be bothering you, potentially. Like, they have to have some sort of evidence, one sort of way like that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of states, like, not wearing a seatbelt is not enough of a reason to pull somebody over. I think that varies state by state.
Yeah, where it's like, if they've already pulled you over for one thing, they can get you for the seatbelt, but if not, like, they can't just arbitrarily...
Yeah, they can't pull you over just for the seatbelt. Yeah, like, if you're not speeding or doing anything else remotely illegal or unlawful, they can't pull you over just because they noticed you weren't wearing a seatbelt.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that, I think there's some states that are like that and some states that aren't.
Yeah, it
So I think
I'm
that's
sure
fair.
it varies by state. It'd be weird if it didn't, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those like weird things where it's like, and all these people were like, well, if you didn't do anything wrong, what are you worried about? And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
retarded. Like,
Being
why?
constantly harassed
Like, why are
would
you
be a
even
reason.
asking? Yeah, exactly. And it's like, because I don't have 20 minutes while this cop decides, for no reason whatsoever, I haven't been doing anything incorrect or driving dangerously or putting anyone else at risk. I'm just driving down the road and he wants to spend 20 minutes going over my vehicle to try to find things to write me a ticket for? Like, how insane is that,
It's
you know?
bullshit. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Okay, government safety. There's a state that doesn't require seatbelts? Wow, apparently New Hampshire is the one holdout that seatbelts are not required to be. In all 50 states except New Hampshire, failure to wear a seatbelt is a misdemeanor. Okay. Alright, I think this might be what I was looking for. Let's see. Oh my god damn it. Fuck seatbelts. Okay, yeah, why are seatbelts important? Okay, we get it. Yeah. No, I think everyone understands that. In 34 of the states and DC, you can be pulled over just for not wearing a seatbelt. So the other 15, there's 15 states where that has to be a secondary thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And, vote of president, I guess, for fucking New Hampshire. Why the fuck is it? It seems odd that the state that doesn't require seatbelts. Oh, yeah. So I get it, like, because most like people make the argument that it's just them, they're putting themselves in danger, but a human body, not super likely, but it can happen.
Oh, yeah, a human body could be a fucking torpedo if it comes out the fucking window at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Into the other fucking car and, like, hits the person in the face or some crazy shit.
Yeah. But New Hampshire's like, nah.
I don't, you know what? In my opinion, if it's the law and you're not doing it, it's perfectly reasonable for a cop to pull you over and you know, stick you in jail or give you a ticket or arrest you, depending on like what the crime is. Like what is the crime? How serious is the crime? Because obviously, you know, if the crime is like not wearing a seatbelt, all right, give this guy a ticket, send him on his fucking way. He can pay like $50 fine and go about his fucking day after that.
Dude, there was a video I just saw. I think it was like within the last couple of days of a guy that was like getting pulled over, and basically the seatbelt ticket was like $10, right? Like the violation cost or charge is like $10, and he's fucking freaking the fuck out about the cop giving him shit. He's like, "Here, just take my money. Here, take all my stuff. Here, it's just yours." Like do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, that? Some people are insane. They just like can't handle.
Yeah, and the cop is like, "Dude, it's a $10 ticket, man. You're overreacting. What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah, the only thing you're doing at that point is you've become an unstable and potentially dangerous person, and now the police can't leave. You know what I mean? Like, isn't at that point they're like, all right, something is seriously wrong with this guy. He's just handing money to, like, I got to find out what's going on here and make sure that it's okay and he's not going to hurt somebody or something crazy, you know?
Was he ripping up his own fucking cash? Is that what happened? The man rips up his cash over seatbelt tickets. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unhinged, dude. It's like, dude,
I've seen a lot of that. I've seen people just like screaming and raging and like frothing at the mouth and it's just it's like
I'm
you know,
I'm okay with the fucking amendment auditors, but the amendment auditors not necessarily an issue, but yeah, they tend to go. Some of them tend to go a little overboard with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's just people who actively try to cause a fucking disturbance with their camera.
Yeah.
Like the ones who are like, I'm trying to film here, and it's like, all right, yeah, but the police asked you to back up, and it wasn't being done in a rude or inappropriate way, and you were way closer than you needed to be.
Yeah.
Like, I fully respect what you're doing. I get that you want to, like, demonstrate and actively, use your rights to film the police, which is good because we want the police filmed. We want to make sure that everything is being done correctly and on the up and up. But what we don't need is people actively out there antagonizing the police for no reason in a completely unnecessary fashion.
Yeah, you can do the same. You can do it just as effectively 10 to 20 feet away, further away.
Yeah, and the police might be arresting somebody who's genuinely dangerous and might try to fucking take you hostage or hurt you.
Yeah.
Like, it's entirely... police are not always wrong. Yeah, not every time the police try to fucking bother somebody is it an incorrect thing and an incorrect assumption and the person is innocent. In many cases, the person is a horrible fucking dirtbag piece of shit, and it's really dangerous, and you don't want to fuck around with them. Like, bro.
Oh, fuck. Dude, okay, this is not exactly related, but a few days ago I was in a chat where they were talking about I think the guy just made kind of an offhand comment about cops maybe not being they're usually trained, not trained well enough, whatever, and kind of brought up the concept of there being bad cops, and I'm like, yeah, no, there's good and bad cops. I'm like, just like there are good and bad people in any sizable group. You know what I mean? No matter
you
what,
put together 50 people. Some of those people are going to be bad. Some of those people are going to be good.
Yeah.
What they do, who they are, any like gender, sex, age, doesn't matter. If you put 50 humans together, some of those humans will be bad. Some of them will be good.
Yeah. So basically, like somebody tagged me and they're like, "Yeah, but should be has a higher standard and they have to have more training." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree." Like I tag them back. I wasn't saying anything even that deep about it. I was just pointing out that any group of people is going to have good and bad in it. And then he came back with like more of the same. And I'm like, I'm not disagreeing with you, you fucking idiot. I'm just telling you that that's not what I was saying. I was not going that deep. Just saying any sizable group of people, there's going to be good and bad. I wasn't talking about how well cops get trained. I wasn't doing anything like that.
Oh, God, yeah.
And he's like,
the ones that want to get into like the nitty gritty and shit, and you're like,
yeah.
Like, but I already agreed with you. Why are you making me go down this road again? Like, what's the point?
I'm like, I'm agreeing with you. Cops probably need more training. I agree with you. And then kept on, and I'm like, okay, you're done. I'm not gonna. We're obviously having two very different conversations.
There was a guy. It was a weird one. He was in VR chat, and he was like super against what do you call it? Where you cut the tip of the dick, snip the tip of the dick off? Circumcision. It's really against it. And he's just going on and on about it. And I'm like, dude, look, this isn't the place. Nobody wants to hang out here and talk about political shit or your religious or your moral shit or any of that other stuff. They just want to fucking hang out and bullshit and play dumb games and talk dirty to each other and make stupid jokes and, just fuck around, hang out and fuck around with each other.
Do any number of, weird things, crazy things, whatever.
The same shit you get when, like, random people are just hanging out in a bar. Like, they're just people telling dirty jokes, people are flirting, people are doing this, that, and the other. It's just the normal fucking routine. Yeah. And like, nobody wants to hear about your circumcision thing. Nobody wants that right now. Like, you're harsh and our mellow, bro. And I'm letting you know because, you probably want to make friends too, and this is just not the way to go. And I fully agree with you. I think circumcision is terrible. I don't think it should be done. But this isn't the place to discuss it. It's really not appropriate, and you're going to end up losing a lot more friends and getting blocked by a lot of people more. And so he just started lecturing me on circumcision. I was like, this is why I'm blocking you. You're too dumb to fucking have a conversation.
Yeah, you're not
with,
listening
man.
to what I'm
you're
saying.
You're not listening.
Like,
Yeah.
like I literally pointed out that I agree with you. You're still going to argue with me about it.
Yeah, like
And
I
all
told
I'm
you
telling
that you
is
were
to take the
right,
plate.
and I said, you're right, this is just not the place to have a conversation, and you kept going, and now you're blocked, and now yet another person is not going to ever talk to you again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've done this before. Like I've
bizarre.
had conversations with other people where they realize that they're like, oh shit, and you can tell they have an epiphany, and it's like, I'm not interested in being your friend now, but I want you to realize that this behavior is never going to get what you want. You know, like that
you're
kind
going
of
to
thing.
turn off everyone.
And especially with it's like a lot of
Yeah.
young men just don't understand. Like there's a lot of young men who have decided that they're already going to be rejected. So they're super aggressive and funny, making funny jokes, super aggressive, funny jokes that are not at all funny. You know what I mean? Like they're just incredibly like mean and
Offensive.
mean-spirited and vicious
Yeah.
bullshit.
Like they're deliberately trying to. It's almost like rejecting people before they
get
have a
rejected.
chance.
Yeah, and it's
to
exactly
reject
what
you.
it is. And so I've literally
Yeah.
had conversations with people because I'll hear like I can tell from their voice they're like clearly they're under they're 15 or 16 or something, and I'll say
Right.
hey dude, look, this is working for you. Are you getting a lot of friends? Is this
Right.
making you really happy? Are you enjoying your time here? Because I understand that it can be really, really scary to walk up to somebody and take a chance on them saying that they think you're a piece of shit. And that's a necessary part of getting to know people and having conversations, is taking the chance that there's going to be people that don't like you. But if you come up and start making these aggressive, shitty statements to people and treating them like shit before they even have a chance to get to know you, no one is ever going to take the time to get to know you.
Yeah, you're
And so they're
guaranteeing
always
it.
going to reject you, and you're just going to defeat their own purpose of making friends. So, hey, I don't want to be your friend. We're past that point now. But I want you to
Right.
take a time and think about this and recognize and maybe just consider what you want out of life. Because if you want to go down this road, it's going to be a lonely fucking road for a long fucking time. Whereas if you take some time and you do some work and you figure out how to put yourself out there in a way that you can like be comfortable with, you might make a lot of friends and be a lot happier with your life and what you do with your life. And it'll be a lot more fun having friends on the ride, bro. And then I'll just leave the room and let them and let them do whatever they want to do. They can either agree, disagree. I don't involve myself in any further conversation.
Yeah.
And hopefully it helps.
Yeah, no,
maybe
you've
it does.
already
Maybe
done
it
far
doesn't.
more.
I don't fucking know. But it's like
Yeah, just making them aware of it is all you can do. Like what they
so
do
the
with
sad
that
thing is,
information.
it's worth trying to have these conversations, even when people aren't going to listen sometimes. But it's so fucking frustrating when you run into those people that just don't fucking like process. It's so fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, it's very odd. Yeah,
Like-
true.
Like
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, especially when you make it clear that you agree with what they're saying, and you just are trying to tell them like that's not what I was saying, or that's not what nobody here is interested in that discussion, or that kind.
exactly.
And they still keep on. It's so weird. Like,
Yeah,
Jesus, it's like flat
they
earthers.
can't handle it. They just can't handle it for whatever reason. They don't. Yeah, they just don't want to get there, and it's too bad because like there's some people who could potentially be pretty cool in those groups. I'm sure, just as much as there's some people that are assholes in those groups.
Yeah, flat earthers are that kind of type. That's all they want to talk.
Oh
flat
yeah.
and lie.
Well, Flat
Dude,
Earth is like
they're-
it's as cult like as any other like group like that. Like they're all sort of culty.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
it's like the Democrats that can't stop talking about politics, or Republicans that can't stop talking about politics for that matter. Where it's like sometimes I just want to fucking enjoy my day and not get into political bullshit.
Yeah, not worry about the fucking fucked up shit that's going on.
Like
all
maybe
day, every
maybe
day.
we could just discuss movies or something. Maybe we could just have a lunch together because we work together and not get into like who we're voting for and all these other unnecessary fucking conversations. You know, like you and I talk politics, and that's fun. But it's like, you know, if I don't want to spend all my time every single day just doing nothing but talking about politics. That would just be really fucking obnoxious. Like, I don't discuss politics with my friends on VR chat where I do like the karaoke stuff, and I don't discuss it with people I work with. You know, because it's just like, you know, I just want to talk about movies sometimes, or food, or just enjoy the fucking nice ambience of hanging out with people. You know, like,
I go to like I watch a lot of the Detroit Lions fan pages or whatever, like channels. Detroit Lions, that's my favorite football team, and there will be people in there. There's one of the channels I watch. He does a show every fucking day, which is insane to me. It starts at like 7 in the morning where he's at, 4 in the morning where I'm at. But anyways, there will be people in there that want to start throwing politics in there. And the guy has to keep telling him, like, hey, man, I get it. This is a Lions channel. I'm a big fan of free speech myself, but this is a Lions channel, so please don't talk about politics here.
Yeah, he's like, this is just not the forum for your conversation, sir. Please, dear God, stop. You know, like, fucking...
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and in fact, he's like, there's a guy who's literally channel Trump's a genius, and he lets that guy stay. As long as he doesn't bring up politics.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty obvious where his political affiliations lie. As long as he doesn't fucking disrupt the chat with it, he can stick around.
I'm 100% like that with because a lot of times when I'm running, I run a movie night every Wednesday. So we all go watch just some random movie that's chosen. Like, sometimes they vote for it, sometimes I just pick the movie. Sometimes somebody asks for a specific movie, whatever. And then afterwards I run a karaoke group public room, which means anyone from our group can find it and join it without having to be friends with me. So it's like open to everybody in the group. And I can kick out anyone I want to at any time without having to get a vote. Because most of the time, if you're in a public instance, you can vote to kick someone out. Then if enough people agree with you, they'll get kicked. But if they don't, then that person stays there, and you can either block them or leave the room if you don't like it. But in the group karaoke instance, I can just kick out somebody. So my thing is, like, I don't have a problem with anybody's personal politics. Be whatever you want. But if you won't shut the fuck up about politics, I will throw you the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know, or if you take it to somewhere where you're not bothering other people. So if there's multiple places in that world where you can go and have a private conversation, then hey, go have your political conversation in that private room over there, so none of us have to listen to it and be bothered. Because most of the people who are in there are just doing it for, you know, to have a good time and enjoy their evening, you know, to relax. And that's not a relaxing topic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It used to be people could have civil conversations about politics and not get mad and fucking, you know, be crazy people around it. But, you know, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, not so much nowadays. Yeah, nowadays it's not just I respect your opinion and disagree with it. It's your opinion is wrong and you're evil.
Yeah, the evil part is the part where I draw the line. Like, that's the thing I don't understand. It's like, why, somebody got really, really mad at me recently, and he was like vehement about it. But at least he didn't call me evil. You know, like it was a video game conversation. I was kind of surprised not to be called evil on it.
Yeah.
But it was just like, you know, I just pointed out a thing that the guy was wrong about. Like, and it wasn't like a debatable topic. It's just like there's numbers. You know, like there's certain equipment in a game. Actually, I'm playing Conan Exiles right now. But like there's certain equipment that's just better in the game than other equipment. And I just saw him leave somebody a message that said like, "Hey, this is the best." Da 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 da. And I'm like, that's not actually true. Here's what the best is. And you know, and so
like
that's what it is. And it wasn't like I wasn't like really mad or like trying to make him look bad, but he just got so mad about it. It was like he's left me like these long books of fucking responses to it, and I'm like, but you're still wrong. Like mathematically, like the numbers just don't add up.
And not only are you wrong, but you care far too much about this.
Yeah.
If you're writing that kind of fucking long ass like paragraphs worth.
Well, he fucking did equations and shit.
Wow. That's amazing.
Let me look. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick and just get a screenshot of the equations.
Yeah, it's almost like you want to try to redirect, magically redirect his passion towards something that matters, that might have a positive influence on the world, instead of how effective one weapon might be versus another.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a very odd thing. It's a very odd thing to be that fucking insanely into, where you're fucking working out mathematical equations. That's a level of obsessive that even I think is crazy, and I know a bit about obsessive behavior. It makes me seem perfectly fucking reasonable.
Yeah, essentially, there's one set of armor that gives a giant strength boost that's way better than any other set of armor put together, and there's one set of armor that gives a really giant agility boost. And the only thing that matters with thralls when you're giving them armor is the amount of damage they do, because like the game's so glitchy that everything it's better to have a glass cannon than anything else, no matter what. But the armor is also the highest in protection as well, fortunately. And so the armor I suggested is 20 points according to his own math. I didn't really look at his math because I don't care. I've been playing the game since it came out. I fucking know what's works and doesn't. Here we go. I'm gonna put it in the Discord. But even by his own math, the armor is 20 points better by whatever his measurement is with my kit. And so I just put down finally I just put down, I'm like even your own math proves me right. Like your own math proved me right, you fool.
Right. You're still refusing to see it. Yeah. That's fucking amazing. But yeah, that kind of shit's nuts. Wow, Jesus Christ! Sorry, I just saw it finally.
That's not all of the conversation. There's a whole lot more.
Yeah. No,
and I'm not going to subject you to that because I doubt you give a shit. Because holy fuck.
Yeah, no, that's enough. That's perfectly adequate to express what you're talking about. I get it.
Yeah. And so all I said was, if you're max level, the perfect thrall armor set is, and then I just put down the one for strength and the one for agility, and that's it. Mm-hmm. I didn't say like, you're wrong, you're an idiot, da 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 da. I just said like, no, this is what the correct one is, and mainly just because it's on Reddit, and for some reason the people that make Codename Exiles don't like to share information about the game. So 90% of what you figure out in the game is stuff that you have to look up online. And so you'll see it from like random ass Reddit posts. So I just wanted to put the correct information in there so that like anybody else reading it would see it and go like, oh, okay, that's the actual real one. Mm-hmm. And then he just went off on all sorts of extra stuff, and it's like, no, you're factually wrong. Like, that's not correct.
Yeah. You give me I'll give him like one chance. It took way longer than it should have for me to realize the futility of arguing with someone like that. But yeah, I finally got to the point where I recognized pretty early on.
Oh, at a certain point, it becomes hilarious. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing it because I'm not invested in the outcome. I don't give a shit. Like, these guys, I'm probably not going to comment anymore. It was just like, it pops up. For some reason, Reddit sends me emails. I don't know how they got my email. I don't know what, but sometimes I get emails and sometimes I don't when people respond. And so if I see a response sometimes, I'll just like, oh, that's hilarious. I'm going to fucking poke that bear again.
Yeah. Or I can't, like you said.
Or sometimes I'm wrong and I'll just say, oh, you know what, you're right. I was wrong. Thank you. Move on.
All right.
Because there's times when I've like, this is da-da-da-da, and they're like, no, this is what actually happened. I'm like, oh shit, I'm wrong. All right, well, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah. People are like floored, like amazed when that happens. Like people are actually acknowledged, like, oh, fuck, I was wrong.
Oh, I'll aggressively defend my point of view or what I think is the truth 100%. I'll very aggressively, argue it. But when I am wrong, I am wrong. Yeah, this is how it is.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's the weird thing is, sure, I guess, like admitting that they're wrong.
Yeah, I think people need to understand that the natural state of things is being wrong about shit because, like, there are a million different things you can be an expert in, and you're not. Like, nobody is. Nobody's an expert in everything. So, like, how could every single thing be...
Yeah.
Like, be right about everything. You're going to be right about... Or you're going to be wrong about way more things than you're going to be right about in life, just in general. Like, just... Like, mathematically or statistically, however you want to look at it, it's one of those things where you're definitely going to be wrong a lot more often than you're going to be right.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think as long as you have that somewhere, I might be... As long as that thought's in... So you're acknowledging, like, okay, I'm sure I'm not being obstinate about some shit that I end up actually being wrong about because I assume that I'm right and that it's impossible that I'm wrong.
Well, and even worse is like, it's even worse if not only if I'm wrong, but if I'm actively making it so other people might agree with something I say, and then more people will be wrong. That's even worse. It's like, no, I really don't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to be responsible for putting erroneous information out to others.
Yeah, I don't want other people to be wrong because it's some dumb shit I said on the internet, that's for sure.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't watch the Matt Christensen's video about the Virginia.
Oh, so essentially what happened was the courts for the state were like, no, you're not allowed to do that because you're taking away people's rights to vote. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, number one, they weren't actually violating the law that they were told they were violating, because that's systematically just like going through and a system just arbitrarily picks people and removes them for some reason.
Right.
This is a case where everything is being reviewed and there's multiple weeks for everybody to go and correct it if it's wrong. And even if all of those parts of it break down, if you, as a person who have been pulled out because of that reason, like your registration has been withdrawn, like you're not allowed to vote, you can still show up on the day and register to vote, and they'll let you do it.
Wow.
So it's like, it just, you can't vote if you're not legally allowed to vote. So like if you were legally allowed to vote and it got you by accident, you would still be able to show up on the day and vote anyway. Because you're legally allowed to. So there's no way, shape, or form is there any way is this law going to ever affect any legal voters' rights. It was only a situation in which Virginia was pulling out people who were illegal aliens who weren't supposed to be registered to vote for whatever reason. Mainly from not being being in the country illegally. And
right.
So it got to one court. They said they decided, because it was the Department of Justice sued them, and this court said, "Oh no, it's not okay. You can't do that." Even though they've done it multiple years prior to this, and it's never been an issue until now, when it's Kamala versus Trump, and Kamala is one of the least popular presidents ever, and it's pretty obvious that Virginia is going to be a swing state that goes to Trump.
Right.
So it's like, they're basically trying to take away the swing states from Trump so that he can't win them through like all these sneaky backdoor lies and shit, essentially. But the Supreme Court came in and were like 6-3. They were like, nope, you can't do that. They're perfectly fine for them to take people who are not legal citizens off the vote. They're not allowed to vote, so there's nothing wrong here.
Wow.
So I thought that was kind of cool. So at least it is, Virginia did get to do what they were doing and take all the illegal aliens off the fucking register list. So.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't change now and day, I guess.
It doesn't. I got into a big thing with somebody there where I was like, this is a judicial decision, and this is one of those cases where the executive branch should engage in the checks of power on the judicial and say, you know what, you can't enforce that, and we're not going to follow that because it's not true.
Right.
Because that's one of those checks that hasn't been used and needs to start getting used more. Is it's like, yeah, just because some judge who's super partisan wanted to like exercise his political authority and play politics instead of actually following the law doesn't mean that you as an executive branch, like as the governor or president or mayor or whatever, the executive enforcer of the law, have to follow that decision. You can just choose to not follow it. And it's done on a small scale quite often. And people don't realize that this is the case. Because they don't understand that, like, you know, all those dumb laws that don't get enforced because they're dumb fucking laws and they just don't really apply anymore, but it's just too hard to remove them. That's exactly what that is. That's the executive branch, the police, deciding not to bother and arrest and charge people for crimes that they just don't feel there's a need to do for them. But those are still crimes. According to the court, they should still be getting arrested. You know what I mean? So that is how that works. That is one of the checks and balances on the judicial's power.
Yeah, no, that's one of the what they call legislating from the bench shit. Like it's really, it's pretty scary. I don't remember. Maybe that's always, and I never noticed it before. But it seems like it's happening more and more.
Oh, it's been happening for a long time. The People's United was a big one, and that's the one that gave corporations the personhood.
Yeah, Citizens United.
Citizens United was the decision, and that was in like what, the 90s or the 80s or some shit, where they were like, no, corporations are like people. It's like, how is a fucking company like a fucking person? Like, no sane individual would ever think that makes any goddamn sense on either side of the aisle. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. That's dumb, fucking dumb.
Yeah, like I get, like the idea behind corporation is the corporation is you, because I've heard it. School, that is how they phrase it. They're like, a corporation is like creating an artificial person almost. Like that is literally the way it's taught. But to stretch that into they are a person, that's fucking insane. But a lot of the shit they are, people argue are like, no, I'm going to interpret the law differently than it's written. I'm going to ignore the artificial part, and now corporations are actual people. A corporation is an actual person. It's very odd.
By partaking of our sacrament, the flesh remembers, the blood.
But that's disturbing. It's like, dude, that's gonna that's a pretty core fucking what do you call it? Pillar to the fucking system, dude. Is that they're acting within their parameters. So when you start you start making rulings based on your political opinions instead of how the law is written, like that threatens the entire fucking system, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's, dude. Yeah, the integrity of the system is fucking, at risk, dude. When you start doing that shit, and they're like, I don't care. I'm doing what's right by my judgment, instead of what the silly law says.
Yep. Yeah, I hate that shit. It's so dumb. And it's,
it's dangerous, dude.
The concept that the judges are supposed to interpret the law is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like, you're not supposed to interpret something somebody else wrote. You just decide whether or not it follows, like whether the situation follows the law or if it doesn't follow the law. You're not interpreting anything. You're just determining whether something is or isn't legal.
Yeah, the Second Amendment shit, it's people that came up with that, from what I understand, a lot of, created way back when, there were additional things that were written about them to kind of clarify shit in a lot of cases, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, and people had weapons of war pretty regularly back in that period of time. It was perfectly normal for a wealthy person or a wealthy company to own, warships.
Right.
They would have warships fully kitted out with cannons and soldiers and guns to protect their traders.
Yeah. And it's just,
It's like right now, there's plenty of regular boats that are not run by military that have military people and military weapons on them now because there's still pirate issues. You know, if they have to go near those areas where the pirates are out there fucking, you know, methed out and pulling up on speedboats with shitty, you know, guns and knives and trying to kill them and take all their shit, you know, they sink those boats and they shoot those fucking people. And that's just random citizens out, you know, doing trade and, you know, taking people places and stuff like that. You know, it's like, and a lot of people don't realize that. But more importantly, it's like, why should you not have the ability to defend yourself just in general? Like, it's such an absurd concept that you would not be allowed to defend your own life.
Oh shit! The pirate part reminded me. Did you hear about you know who Hassan is, right? It's on Piker, that fucking Jenks Chunk Yogurt's fucking nephew.
Yeah.
Did you see where he had interviewed like a Houthi a while back, like a month or two ago?
Who did he interview?
Like he had him on a show, like a Houthi pirate.
No, I did not hear about that. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah, no, and he literally was gassing it up, like talking about how fucking cool this guy was, and fucking, yeah. So recently, like this week, because you know Ethan Klein used to do a show with him, and they basically had a falling out last October after the whole, you know, the insanity that happened with Palestine, Israel, like what did Palestine attack, like a music festival or something? And it's been, you know, like just destruction ever since. But anyways, yeah, this guy has literally had like, yeah, it's odd because I don't really pay attention to Twitch, but apparently they're very fine with any kind of anti-Israel or straight up anti-Jewish shit. It sounds pretty obviously falls into that category. But anyway, so yeah, like he was literally on there talking, literally said about this fucking pirate kid, because there was like, I guess originally he's like a young good-looking kid, right? So he's getting a fair amount of popularity from that, and he's talking about how, look, yeah, there's video of me dancing with these Chinese fucking people on this boat, and it's like they're hostages, and like they're probably playing along or whatever because you could kill them easily. But like he's talking about how fucking cool that is, and he's like asking him about One Piece, and he's all happy about how fucking like that the kid had watched One Piece and was a fan of that. He's like, yeah, tell him he's basically like that one guy, and I forget the character because I don't know One Piece enough, but like Hassan is basically saying he's like the main good guy in One Piece, or one of the main good guys in One Piece, and he literally called him. He said he's basically Anne Frank. He said that about this fucking pirate kid. He's basically Anne Frank.
Good fucking
And
guy.
for some reason, all of this, dude, it's fucking nuts, dude. And it's terrifying because he has a huge fucking audience. It's the same problem I have with like Destiny. Destiny's a fucking idiot. But he has a large fan base that probably fucking does their thinking for him, like a good chunk of them.
Oh yeah,
so
where
I
they
feel
like whatever
actually
he
makes
thinks
them
is whatever
dangerous.
they think because they're too dumb to
Make
up their own fucking
that's why I
mind.
think they're. Yeah, that's why I consider like Hassan and Destiny and people like that literally dangerous because they don't seem to. Well, I guess they don't really care, but yeah, I don't think anybody really understands that there's people that literally listen to them and think they're right about everything. You know, about a fucking good for that. I'm gonna laugh at that guy that got killed shielding his family when Trump got shot at. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna laugh at the guy that got killed.
Yeah, it's
that
like
kind of
well,
shit.
it's like when people were all crowing about, you know, I hope Trump's hotel gets wiped away in the fucking hurricane in 2016, you know, or 2020 or whatever when he was running, and it was like, what about all the other people that are totally innocent that fucking live there or living there temporarily because they're, you know, on a vacation or traveling for business or something, and maybe they're seeing family, like all these perfectly normal people that did nothing wrong might not even be fucking Republicans. They might even be Democrats from your fucking side.
Yeah, they might
what
just
about all
like
the
the
people that
resort,
fucking work in,
stay
the, in
there.
that hotel
Yeah.
that could get killed or lose their jobs and then lose their fucking apartment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, they literally have the mindset of, nope, Trump owns it, so anybody affiliated with it, staying there, working there, they're all evil, so
Yeah,
they
it's
can
like,
die.
what the fuck is wrong, man? Like, why is it's got
Yeah.
to be such a vile fucking thing, you know?
hmm Yeah, so I think, I can't remember, did I talk about I don't remember if it was on the show last week where I talked about, like a couple of Hassan's underlings, like,
Nah.
this chick Denims and this chick Frogan had a thing at like I think it was TwitchCon, where they were doing a thing where they had like a tier list for people, and it was like Arab was the top one, and it was like something like Arab adjacent, and then fucking has a Arab pass or some shit like that. It was like five of them. The bottom one was Sabra, which they were saying was a reference to the hummus brand. But Sabra is also the definition of Sabra is an Israeli Jew. Sabra is what that means overall. And Sabra was at the bottom of the tier list. So obviously they're coming up with people like Hassan. Okay, he's obviously the top, obviously the Arab, and then they come up with Ethan Klein, and obviously he goes to the bottom. He's the Sabra thing. So it was quite, uh, in my opinion, a very thinly veiled, like Arab good, Jew bad
Yeah.
thing, right? They were kind of trying to like a very thin cover of that. So yeah, that basically happened at TwitchCon, and then like Ethan did a show like referencing that and a bunch of the other shit, and actually got most of them suspended from Twitch.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Frogan is the fucking fat ugly bitch. And it's not necessarily ugly, but the morbidly obese bitch that's always dressed up in the fucking. I posted a pic of her last week.
Isn't she the one that said she
the one
was
that's
a
always
10?
wearing the fucking
Like the one who's
No,
like
no, no,
massive and
no.
said she was a 10? Oh, okay, because
No,
there was
no.
like that one really, really fat
Yeah,
chick who was
no.
like big on a bunch of podcasts.
No,
I was
you're thinking the
always
job of the
like,
slut
really?
from the
Like,
whatever
all right.
podcast.
You think you're a 10?
Yeah.
I think you think.
Yeah, no, she's just a fucking rabid anti-Jewish person. And then she had also said something along the line, fuck the American soldiers, I hope they all get PTSD. I hope they come back to America and they lose their health insurance, and like saying all this horrible fucking shit. And again, she's one of fucking Hassan's fucking underlings or whatever.
Yeah.
So nothing ever happened to her. Denims was another one. She's more, and she's what I refer to as suspiciously stupid, which is a new term. I don't know. It's probably been used before, but I don't know.
Like, you
It
don't
occurred to me.
believe that they're dumb enough to not realize that what they're saying is totally wrong and
Yeah.
inappropriate.
Yeah, I'm literally like I don't fully believe that this person is as stupid as they seem. Because again, she's essentially a fucking titty streamer. Like she just fucking again has the cleavage showing and fucking has the downward facing fucking that camera kind of shit.
Yeah.
All of them actually got like bans from what Ethan had gone on about. I don't generally. I really don't like how Ethan goes after people's sponsors, like what he did to Keemstar years ago. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah,
But he was
yeah. Where you
basically
try
like,
to
whatever
put people
fucked
that
up
don't
shit.
agree with you, you try to like destroy their ability to have a livelihood.
Yeah, like he
I don't
caused
get that. Where you go
Keemstar.
after sponsors for YouTubers, or you try to get people fired from their just regular job or whatever because they said something you don't agree with. It's like you're fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. You don't
Yeah,
agree
like,
with this person? Fine, okay, whatever. That's cool.
Yeah,
I don't
despise
agree with everybody
Keemstar.
I meet either, but I don't try to ruin their fucking life. You psycho fuck. You know, like what is wrong
but
with
like
you?
with Keemstar, I despise Keemstar, but him, Ethan managed to get his.
I may think that
know.
Keemstar has participated in things that should have gotten him banned a long time ago, including doxing.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like that that doesn't mean I'm going to go and personally try to destroy his livelihood. I just don't think he should be on the platform because I think he's violated the terms of service so many times it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Although, yeah, this one though, in particular, I don't know, it's different because, like, at the TwitchCon panel, like, there are sponsors' names up there: Samsung, Capcom. I forget who the third one is. So, like, in that one, I'm kind of like, well, that is a little different. I still don't like him doing it, but I like it's a little more understandable in that situation because
Yeah.
they are the direct sponsors of the fucking convention and their names all over it. But yeah, I'm still like, dude, don't fucking do that, dude.
Yeah, it's so
Even if it's
gross.
kind of deserved in this situation, don't fucking do that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Some people are just disturbed,
Yeah,
man. Some
look at
people,
that.
like, just don't...
Yeah,
They don't get it, you
dude.
know?
Whenever
It's
I
like,
see like, I'm trying to think. I know I just posted a pic of Frogan, like really recently. Let's see, how far back is it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Where is it? Oh, it was right before the Bonobo last week. I had posted between the Dianetics and the Bonobo one. But yeah, she's just a morbidly obese bitch, and the fucking. I seriously think she wears the Muslim shit because she thinks it makes her look thinner. Um, but anyways, yeah, she got like a 30-day ban. Denim's got a 30-day ban, but they didn't bother. They still didn't give Hassan a ban,
oh, yeah, he never gets in
even though he's
trouble.
essentially the catalyst for all of it. Yeah, yeah, dude, I should show you the one of Nick. You know who Nick Merckx is? I'm not super
No.
familiar with him, but I've heard the name. I forget what the fuck. He's a fairly popular guy, and like Denims is obviously going to be opposed to that guy because he's pro-military. And she's watching the video, and it's obvious that she didn't pre-watch it and assumed she was just going to be able to fucking dunk. But
Oh.
he starts off talking about his father getting hit by a mortar and having like the fucking, his skin of his legs and peeled off and losing an ear and all this shit. And then she's like watching it and like not knowing what to do because she's supposed to be just dunking on this guy. And she just kind of like fucking sits there with an odd smile on her face at times until he stops talking about that and then gets into something that she can fucking pretend to be pissed off about.
Well, outrage is like the newest
very
fucking
disturbing.
style. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely
it's a money-making thing, and they're like all these people you're talking about seem to me to be like bottom feeder types who are just like, hey, whatever I can, however I can get some money out of it. Like they don't care about what they're talking about. I don't for a second believe that any of them actually believe anything they're saying. I think they just want to get as much attention as possible to make as much money as possible, and that's all there is to it,
Yeah, Denim's very obviously will not. Yeah, Denim's very obviously opinion that isn't already Hassan. Like she will absolutely not disagree with anything Hassan ever said.
Too bad.
And it's pretty clear when it comes down to having an opinion that she doesn't know what he thinks. She just avoids.
She probably. I'm just guessing here. I obviously am not. Like I'm not the. I don't know. I have no inside information. But I'm gonna guess she has something to do with Hassan's or Hassan has something to do with her success or her having a channel in the first place.
Yeah, her and Frogan, that's absolutely the case.
Yeah, and so
they're essentially like his pregame pre-show like lead-in. Like she one of them goes on before, one of them goes on after his shows.
That makes sense.
Like they don't broadcast at the same time. Yeah, they're very much intertwined.
So she just doesn't want to fucking like cross that line and screw up her fucking chances of a career, essentially.
Yeah, and the first few times I saw her, it seems like she will tiptoe up to actually expressing an opinion, and then kind of trails off before fully expressing it. So it looks like she's like, I don't know what the impression I get from it is. I don't know what Hassan thinks about this, so I'm going to not completely say anything.
Yeah,
and express its
makes
opinion
sense
just in
though.
case. Yeah, it's fucking weird. But then, like, when I saw her more, I'm like, wow, she can't be this fucking stupid. Like, she just, like, I find it genuinely hard to believe that she is as stupid as she appears to be.
Oh yeah, well, never count out, but yeah, most of these people probably aren't stupid. Well, it's like those, it's like the e-thoughts that
people are like,
their whole
yeah, they're
career
like, no,
is
she
based
really
off
is.
of being single, even though they're not. You know what I mean? Like they're like all these streamer chicks that are that claim to be single, but they're like titty streamers. Like none of them are single. They all have like boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever, husbands,
Oh yeah, it's
wives.
been,
And
people like Pokimane or Sniper Wolf or fucking.
and they get mad when it
whatever.
comes out because it's like ruins the illusion that they've carefully crafted.
Yeah, the parasocial relationships.
Oh, fuck! There's that fucking word I hate. I hate that fucking word. It's such a bullshit word too. It's like you're not having no, you're actually communicating with these people directly. Like I'm sorry, that's a normal
Yeah, I guess there's a
social
different word. The way
relationship.
the way I view it is the word the guys think it's a genuine thing, stringing them along to get money. So yeah, that's what I mean when I use that.
Oh yeah. No, I understand why people use it, but it's like such an inappropriate term.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
It's like it just doesn't make any sense because it's a direct social relationship. It's just not a close relationship. They think it's closer than it is. But like,
yeah, it's not genuine on the
and the other thing is the part that really fucking pisses me off is when you hear streamers use it derogatorily, and it's like, motherfucker, you're the one that makes them. You're the one that actively makes it that way.
Yeah, you're the one that's benefiting financially.
Yeah, you're actively encouraging people to believe shit that's not true.
Yeah.
In order to get more money from them and fool them into giving you more money because they think that you're their friend. Because it's like, oh god, have you ever been to a strip club? I'm sure you've been to a strip club. Why I even ask that question?
A couple times, but yeah.
Yeah. The girls obviously are only interested in the guys that are giving them money, and they're only interested enough to get that money for lap dances and stuff, and for tips on stage.
They're gonna pretend they like them.
They don't actually like those guys. They're not friends with them. They're not want to hang out with them after the fucking show or whatever. They just want their money, and like that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't care. But
Right.
it's a little more straightforward in that case. But it's like, yeah, they're just there to make money, which is it. But that's what it's exactly the same sort of vibe you get when you watch a stream. At least all the streams I've ever seen is you get these people that are like, they don't really want to chat with anybody who's actually interesting or has like anything interesting to say. They're not. Because, like, you read through the chat, sometimes you'll see some fucking hilarious shit that you'll never see, like some people say some funny ass shit that never gets like brought up or like discussed, but somebody who hands them like a $20 tip can say the dumbest, blandest, boringest shit in the world, and they're like, oh my god, you're so funny. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And guys do it too. Like I was on a stream where a guy was doing that kind of shit, and he would pretend to be like friends with these guys that were like giving him money, and it was so weird to see it being done for just the sake of like friendship, is not even like like for like any sort of sexual
not
thing.
even kitties or pussy or any of that shit.
It wasn't like because they weren't in love with this guy, they just thought he was their friend, and it was just so gross.
Like, you're a funny dude,
I could never stream because I can't pretend to like somebody for money. Like, that just doesn't work for me. If somebody's if I was like doing that and somebody says something funny in the chat, I don't care if they donated or not, I'm gonna mention it because it's fucking funny. Like, that would be me. And that's not how you make money in that sort of like industry. That's just how.
Not gonna single out the people that are donating to make sure I acknowledge their.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was like it was when that brief period where they had the karaoke stream stuff going on. Twitch had a thing where you could when you create your Twitch account, you could set up a stream, and they had a whole karaoke setup in there that you could just use as a streamer, and do like sing songs to people, and they could interact and like throw you like challenges in the middle of your singing. So like you gotta change the tone of voice, or you gotta like screamo rock sing it, like.
Kind of like trying to get him to do like, all right, sing like this person.
Yeah. So like, like if it was like say Country Roads, you might ask him to sing it like a rock song instead of like a country song or something like that for like 20 seconds or some silly shit. Yeah. And so I remember I watched this guy because I was just watching. I just was curious to see how the whole thing worked, so I decided to watch like some random streamer. Because I was into karaoke at the time and I was just getting into it. And I was like, oh, that could be fun. Like, why not stream karaoke and get people into it? That'd be fun. And then it was just like, it was essentially like, I watched 2 streams, and by the end of the second stream, I'm like, oh, this is just like fucking a strip club. Like, this guy doesn't give a shit. Yeah. He's not.
Yeah, without the kiddies.
He's not interested in like the music or streaming. It's just, he just wants, he's an affable guy, and people want to hang out and have a chat with him because he tells funny stories about when he used to work as a blah 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 whatever, which is fine. Like I don't care, like I wish him the best of luck. I just was like, I'm just not into that. Like I don't want friends I have to pay to hang out with.
Yeah, that's fucking very odd.
Like I understand a lot of the other, like I'm sure that's not how all streamers are. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's, like, streamers who, like, they're getting the audience because of video games or some other thing that's actually entertaining that they're doing. But there's a lot of them that are like that, where, like, the whole point is just, like, they've convinced these people that they're friends because these people keep giving them money. Which, ironically, if you think about it, is one of the least attractive things in a friend. You know what I mean? Like, you would want to not be friends with the guy that only wants to hang out with people that give him money. So, it's even funnier that these people have, like, thousands and thousands of people, like, watching their shit and giving them money. Like, it's like, you people are fucking weird. I guess if you make something exclusive, dumb people want it, no matter how fucking ridiculous or worthless it actually is.
There. Oh, I posted a picture of in the Discord there.
Let me see. Oh, I've seen that comparison before. I didn't know that was who that was. I didn't know she had anything to do with Hassan Piker. I've just seen random people posting those memes in other channels, other Discords.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the really fucking before, but. Like at the some kind of Twitch streamer awards thing, Frogan, essentially, I assume, 100% from her association with Sasan, got like this Rising Star Award, an up and coming streamer award. And then the next year, she got the same award again.
Oh wow.
Like, they gave her this Rising Star Award 2 years in a row. And I was like, dude, that's fucking amazing.
Oh, awards are always bullshit. I don't understand why anybody gives a shit about any awards if they're legit, like doing what they're doing for the sake of art. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. Sorry, somebody just delivered a package.
Right on. I'm hoping I get a package soon. I ordered some tools. I got to change out the valves and the valve seats in the shower. And
package, Mom.
Oh.
Right.
Hopefully.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Hopefully they didn't get lost in the mail or stolen off the porch, because I was supposedly received the package yesterday and it's not there, so... My guess is they split the delivery up into 2 different packages, and somebody just jammed the tools in with the other package of other shit and just clicked that it was delivered instead of being out for delivery. And so hopefully it'll be here in the next day or two. But they always want you to give them like a day or two before you report it as not arrived. Or maybe somebody else picked it up.
Noise.
Oh man, I got to vote.
Somebody swapped out the fucking the doorbell, or the doorbell, the door, front door here.
Yeah.
And they didn't bother tightening it all the way, so it was like super loose and it was a little off center. And I was like, why didn't you just have me do it? Like, why didn't you just ask me to do something like that? So yeah, I had to go in and like tighten the bolts. They were already stripped out like a decent amount.
Oh,
Like,
it's so
like
much of a pain
more.
when you gotta like fix bolts that are stripped
Yeah.
out.
Dude,
Like
I mean,
there's
they were still
all
usable.
sorts of little fixes you can use, but it's never easy. It's always a pain in the butt. Like, oh, you're gonna wrap the threads in tinfoil, or fucking jam a fucking golf tee or some wood in there to like help that screw find some more purchase, or whatever.
Yeah,
Fill
they
it
were
with
not
wood
stripped
glue
out
and let
too
it
far.
dry, and then it'll screw into the wood glue plug or something.
Yeah, luckily they were not that far gone, so perfectly usable down. Because the door wasn't like opening right, and the latch wasn't, unlatching or whatever. So yeah, it took me like 5 seconds to fucking just tighten it, and now it's fine. Because I'm the one that put the new door and shit in last time. I had to replace the actual the metal piece that goes on the frame, that the door latch goes into.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised that I nailed it the first time. Because again, it doesn't have to be off by much to not be able to like latch properly, right?
Yeah.
So I really thought, I'm like, there's no way I'm nailing this. Yeah, the wood was all like kind of stripped out and shit. So I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna be at this all day. And luckily I nailed that the first fucking try somehow. But yeah, I was like, why didn't you people not just have me do it? And it's an interior door. Like the doorknob does not have a key thing on it. Like it's got obviously the lock thing on the other side, but it doesn't have a key thing on the outside to be able to unlock it. Although I guess if you just need, and it's got the little hole that weird little tool in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of kind of pointless as far as the front door. Because then anybody wanting to get in, it's very easy to do.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know, man. I one of the things I thought about, because like the shower, like the handle, the little valve that goes back in, it's like a rubber disc. Gets pushed onto a little brass ring of copper that has like a sharp edge on it. And I was sitting there wondering, I'm like, what if we just grind that sharp edge down till it's flat? And then, clean up the burrs so there's no jagged edges or anything. I wonder if that'd make it last a lot longer. Because it's just too easy to crank it down too hard and have the little valve seat cut into the valve. And it's just like, why is it even designed that way? It doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
So, yeah, but it's only like a 20-minute job. It's not like it's super hard. You just turn off the water and then take them out. I wanted to have the actual tools. Because, like, you can take off the valves with the fucking, crescent wrench or like a pliers or whatever, no problem. But the valve seats, you gotta have that fucking special wrench that goes in the fucking thing.
Yeah, I gotcha. You don't want to try to fuck around with tools not designed for gonna work.
Well, it's like an Allen wrench sort of style thing where it has to go inside, but it's square. And then there's like 6 different sizes that it can be. So you can spend $10 on Amazon and buy like a wrench that has all 6 different sizes on it. And just, one of 2 sides will work. Either the one side or the other side will take out whatever kind of valve thing you got. Because the last thing I want is to strip that shit out trying to like jerry-rig some shit. And then a set of the valve stem wrenches was like another $10. So I was like, for $20, I'm guaranteed to have the correct tools and it should be even easier. So why not?
Indeed. Yeah. What was really funny about them deciding to put this. I've been. These are the same people that. This was years ago, but like down at my grandfather's house, my sister had her van out there, and they apparently spent like over an hour trying to get the hood popped on the van, and then also the door leading in from the garage to the house. They could not get the key to unlock it, and I went down there. And we did the van thing first. I'm like, all right, just keep pulling the handle and let's keep popping it. And I got it done in about 5 seconds.
Huh.
You know what I mean? I opened it in like 5 seconds. And the same thing with the door.
Nice.
I just kind of, jiggled it a little as I turned the keys and got that in about 10, 15 seconds. So they had spent like multiple hours trying to do this shit. And I managed to do it in like fucking less than 30 seconds total. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? So that was interesting.
Wow. Well, they were fucking around. That's what they were doing.
Yes, they're whatever techniques they were employing were not properly thought through or something. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. I think they were literally, with the door one especially, I assume they were just trying to do, instead of just constantly like
I don't know if you've noticed any of this.
On the,
if you watch any of the building inspector stuff, there's like a lot of guys that go around now with like, there's a few different people that do like building inspections. A lot of construction has gotten sort of like Chinese at this point, where it's like they're building things out of essentially like it's all bullshit and they're lying about what they're building out of. And like there's this building inspector guy I see on YouTube Shorts all the time who's he consistently finds like fucking they'll have like broke like wood that's like, like in your it's not, most people don't have an attic, but they have like an area crawl space on the top of their house where like the roof trusses are. The
right.
The long wood beams that hold all your roof together. Like he'll go in there and find like fuck tons of those like broken and shit.
Wow.
And they'll be like 3 or 4 in the house, and it's like that's gonna cost whoever owned that place a lot of fucking money someday. Like it's really shitty.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we've got like an attic type space with the little, the drop down trap door and ladder that that's that folds out. But yeah, everything looks good on our. The trusses all appear to be in order as far as I can see.
Well, and this is like new construction. This is like new construction where somebody's paid $250,000 for a house to be built. And you think if you spend $250,000 on a house, it's going to be good quality house, but fucking nope.
Yeah, that's disturbing, dude. Yeah, I remember when I bought mine, friends going with me, actually like going through the process.
Yeah.
And one of my friends was like, "Well, yeah, they say they put that much insulation." And the lady was like, "Oh no!" And the guy that was running that, like, he makes sure he goes in to see how much insulation they have when they start and how much they have when they're about to leave. So that was somewhat reassuring. But yeah,
that's one of the things that happens in a lot of the houses. This guy will go in and he'll measure like the insulation, and it'll be like it's supposed to be like 6 inches, but there's really only like 5 inches of insulation, or they're like 1 inch of insulation, and in some cases 0 insulation. And you're like,
yeah, they
wow,
just do it in a few spots.
These people are fucking frauds.
Yeah. Dude, that is so evil, dude. That is fucking really fucked up, man.
Right?
Because whatever they're getting paid to do it,
they're making paid
money,
for those materials. Yeah, you paid for that insulation. You're not getting it, but you certainly paid for it.
Yeah, to have that level of greed where you're going to be able to shortchange all these people so I can make more money, even though it would be a comfortable living anyway.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, it's again, shit that's motivated by greed, I find is again, if you're gonna be able to make a decent thing, and you just fuck people over to make a little more, yeah, it's just something I find especially gross, dude.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad
Yeah,
that it's
shit like,
allowed.
we put studs every fucking. We only put in the at studs every other spot that they're supposed to be in. You know, or some crazy shit like that, where they're just skipping fucking. Like I forget how spaced out studs are supposed to be, but you know it ends up like a lot of places.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's like I think it's usually like
could be.
14 or 15 inches off center. Like there's a specific amount that you're supposed to have, like inches between them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Never heard stories about that where it's literally the amount. So they doubled the space between them. Like,
Yep.
that's fucking gross. It's so fucked up.
Oh well, a lot
Like,
of these houses are supposed to have like like an exterior plywood layer, and the only thing they're putting up is just the plastic wrap that keeps all the water out. So like you put up, so essentially like what you're supposed to do when you're building a house is, you build the frame, right? Like the you know the studs and the runners and all the stuff that everything is attached to, and then there's plywood that gets attached to the outside of the house, and then around that is like a Tyvek wrap that is essentially sort of plastic rubber shit that keeps water from being able to get in, even if it gets behind the outside wall. And so the plywood and then that layer out there, and then they put on whatever the walls are made of on the outside. If it's going to be like, you know, siding, or it's going to be like shingles, whatever kind of walls they're putting on the outside. And on the inside, you put in like your drywall or your hardwood walls or whatever kind of walls you're putting on the inside. And a lot of these people are just not putting in the materials. Yeah, sheetrock on the inside, and then, but there is supposed to be plywood on the outside of a house when you're doing it like correctly.
Right, gotcha.
And so it was just one of those.
But
things
yeah,
where
I did the framing for a while.
They're taking money for all those fucking materials, though.
Yeah. No, I felt a certain amount of responsibility doing that shit. Again, I didn't do framing. But yeah, I was like, this is a person's house. This is a person's fucking building a business.
Oh yeah, if you're a decent human being, of course.
Even if I'm not getting paid a lot, I wasn't making much money doing it, but I was like, I feel an obligation to do this well, or at least satisfactorily fucking level.
Well, and you would think like, again, you know, you got paid to do it, you chose to do it, nobody made you do it.
Yeah. I mainly got the job because that's what my friends were doing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody, friends of mine.
Yeah, you didn't have to agree to work on that house for whatever amount of money. You could have said, no, I want more money, or I won't do it, and stuff like that. So nobody made you take that small amount. So it's not like, you know, these people are being forced into unfair situations where there's just not enough money for what they want to do. No, they're just fucking assholes, you know? Like they're ripping people off.
Yeah, that reminded me of something kind of connected. I remember with convenience stores, there was a chick that worked there that would complain about you packing your cigarette. When you buy a pack of cigarettes, you pack it. She would tell you to stop because that bugged her. And I was like, no. You need to find a different line of work, bitch. I'm going to pack these cigarettes here. And if you can't handle that, you should probably find someplace else to work.
Was she working in a tobacco shop?
Yeah, no, convenience store.
Oh, convenience store? Yeah, again, same thing.
Cigarettes
same thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
working in a place where the people are you're selling tobacco, people are gonna work, you know, like you can't, that's not a reasonable expectation. That's absurd.
Yeah. I was like, no, I'm sorry that you have to hear it all day long. But, you know, if it bugs you that much, you should probably find a place that doesn't sell, you know, cigarettes.
Yeah. That's absurd.
So, yeah,
what a silly bitch.
It. Yeah, I did not stop packing my cigarettes.
No, of course not. Why would you?
No matter how many times she fucking told me. Yeah, it was. It was a ridiculous thing, dude.
Yeah, I would 100% not do that. That's such a bizarre
Hold
thing to
on.
expect. What a weird ask.
All right. Okay, sorry, man. I fucking my. What the fuck, dude?
What?
Damn it.
Hello?
Hold on.
Oh.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, okay, there it is. All right, yeah, my fucking my earpiece just shut off.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I was like, I could hear you the whole time, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Oh
All
no,
right, I
no,
don't know what the
yeah,
fuck
I'm not
happened.
mad. No shit.
Yeah, yeah. No, it didn't say any. Like normally, it'll say battery low, and it'll give me like 20 minutes before it actually runs out. And it
Oh,
just
okay. The
fucking
battery
powered
went
off.
dead on you. That's kind of unfortunate.
No, it didn't though.
Oh,
I'm using
weird.
the same one. I turned it back on. Fuck.
Oh,
Yeah. In fact, the one that was charging turned. I went to switch them out. I figured, oh fuck it, I'll switch them out anyway. And the other one uh, was dead. It wasn't charging this whole time. Okay. Oh, that's probably what happened. I bet I put it on and it stopped charging, and when it loses connection with the charger, it tries to connect and turn on. So the battery low thing was probably saying it on the headset that was still sitting in my charger inside. And the weird thing with these, and maybe this is the way all Bluetooth ones work, but if the battery dies on one of them and it powers down both headsets.
oh, weird.
Even though they're what I mean, separate. As soon as one shuts down for low battery, both of them get turned off. That's
Huh?
probably what happened.
How weird.
Yeah, which seems odd to me, but whatever. Yeah, again, this is the only Bluetooth headset pair I've ever had, so I don't know if that's a normal thing or not. It seems stupid. It's like if one battery's dead and the other one's not, like it seems like one should just stay on, but
Yeah, I don't know why it would do that. That doesn't make a lot of sense. The only
yeah,
thing
it's
I
a
could
little
say
odd.
that would make sense for, like, so, for it to make sense to me, would be if, like, when one of them powered off, the other one got really fucking loud for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, if, like, one of
Mm,
them, like,
right.
say they're both set at volume 10, and then one gets, the battery goes out, and it's like, oh no, the battery's out, and then it's like volume 20 in the other one. And you're like, oh, well, that makes sense,
Right.
because it would, like, fucking blow someone's eardrum out their fucking head, sure. But if it's
Yeah,
just
like
like
it said,
one of them's gonna go dead and the other one's gonna keep working, it's like, well, wouldn't you prefer the one that? Oh, because then like, if one stops working for any reason, you have to replace both of them. There's no way to just replace one.
uh, maybe. Yeah, the power down thing doesn't, because again, I use just
I don't know. I'm sure there's
all
some
the
dumb
only
reason that
time.
usually that makes them more money.
Yeah,
It's almost always some sort of scam when
yeah,
things are like that.
right.
When it's
Like
incredibly
one's gone, you got
obvious
to
what
get a
would be
new
more
pair. Fuck
convenient,
you.
and this is incredibly obviously
Yeah,
not very efficient. It's like, okay.
yeah, yeah. Because again, I use one headset, one or the other. One's charging and one's not.
Yeah.
The only time I wear two is when like when I go to bed.
Huh. That is weird.
But yeah, the battery low the prompt. I don't know if I can turn the volume down on that. Fucking, like if I am asleep or almost asleep, it's loud enough that it's going to wake me up. It's going to make me alert again. So that fucking sucks.
Oh god, there's nothing worse than being almost asleep and getting woken up like by something
Yeah,
like noisy or
just hearing
obnoxious. like
Hearing your headset
jarring,
say,
I should
"Battery
say.
low."
Anything that gets your adrenaline
Yeah.
going for like a half a second is just the worst, because then you're not going to go back to sleep for another hour. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
it fucking
until this
sucks.
fucking adrenal response has stopped fucking me up, I'm not getting anywhere.
Yeah, because if I hear it like first time, I'll either because I'm fucking if I'm at that point where I'm even sleep and I hear the battery low thing, even though the charger's like fucking 8 feet away, I don't want to get up and fucking put it on the charger. Like I just want to fucking go to sleep.
Yeah, and a lot
So
of
I'll
times
usually
it's like,
put it.
I wish
I'll
I could
either,
just throw this fucking thing across the room so I wouldn't hear it anymore.
yeah, so I'll either pull it like almost off, so I'll still get to hear it kind of until it actually powers down, or I'll just remove it altogether. But I will not. I rarely get up and actually put it on the charger when I get to that point.
No, that would be weird.
There's that small act of having to get up on my knees. I don't even have to stand up. I just literally have to get on my knees and stretch over to put it on.
Yeah, but it's
even
enough.
that
It's
little
enough
action,
that you're going to be awake now. Like, it's like, nope, now we're
Yeah.
awake. Body has decided we're awake now.
Yeah, it's going to make it much harder to go actually get to sleep in.
Yeah, no, it never works that way. It's like one of my least favorite things about getting older is having to wake up multiple times in the middle of the night sometimes to pee.
Oh,
It's like, you've gotten like 4 hours of sleep, you gotta pee, and then for some reason 2 hours later you gotta pee again, and you're like, why do I have to pee again? I already fucking went. Like, oh man. Yeah, it's like
dude. I am so like, oh fuck, can I just cancel out the I have to pee, the urge to pee thing, and go back to sleep?
Because your bladder's not full. Like, it's not that you physically need to pee right now. It's just for some reason your body is just over fucking playing that for some odd reason because you're fucking old now. It's like, son of a bitch.
Like, I don't believe you. You can wait till morning.
Yeah. Well, because once in a blue moon, it works. Like, right? Like that, it's like 5 minutes of just sitting there, like, going, oh, God, go back to sleep, go back to sleep. Maybe I can go back to sleep without waking up this time. Sometimes you do get back to sleep, and then you wake up in the morning and you have to pee really bad, but, you still got you still slept through, like, the whole fucking night.
Yeah, you didn't get up and pee immediately and then not be able to get sleep for like a fucking hour.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I posted a picture of the girl you were talking about her since you put her into my head. I'm putting her right back into yours, fucker.
Oh yeah, Jabba the Slut.
I assume that's the girl.
Yeah, Jabba the
Slut. Yeah, she's a 10, dude. She's totally a 10, dude.
That one blew my mind because I was like, you're not a 10. Like, I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, no,
man.
it is odd. Like, the girls that think just because they can get guys to fuck them, that means they're hot.
There was,
and that they're not making a connection that nobody wants to date them, that they're just a fucking, easily accessible fucking vagina. And that they're not going to have any kind of relation beyond that.
I hate being a morally reasonable person. Because one of the things, like, why I don't talk about politics is one of the people I'm sort of friends with, like, we have lots of conversations about, like, entertainment and shit. Like anime or movies or something, and we have very similar taste. She posted some pictures of herself, like her real person, like her real self in the Discord for the karaoke group. And she's one of those mannish, like, half-shaved head, like, crazy liberal people looking. And it's like, yeah, dude, there's no way we would ever get along politically. Like, I know that's not the case. And I'm like, I'd share it, but I don't want to share people's pictures, like, from, like, Discord to Discord, because it's just not without their permission. That's kind of not cool. Even though, like, obviously, you're not going to go post it somewhere to, like, mock her or something.
Yeah, it's you go like, okay, I can tell. Even if I say I'm just, they're gonna find that offensive, like that kind of craziness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. I don't care. I'm still gonna chat with her and bullshit with her. I don't have a problem. I don't care because I don't care what her politics are. It's not my problem.
Yeah.
She can have her own opinions and I can have mine. We're big boys and big girls here.
There is no reason to bring that up artificially.
It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't want to end up in a screaming match with somebody where they're screaming at me because it's usually not me screaming at them.
Yeah. That's why it was nice to see the guy I think I mentioned this week. His channel's named President Sunday, and he's a lefty type, but he fucking despises people like Hassan and Frogan and all them.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of people who are reasonable on the left. Absolutely, like there's the majority of people on both sides are just regular, normal people who just want to like live their life and be like happy. Most people aren't extreme nice politically.
I like to. I want to hear shit from the other side, but I don't want to listen to people that are so far gone that they're just not worth listening to. So it's nice to find it. It's pretty rare coming across.
There's plenty of things where I fall on the left too. It's not like I'm always right wing on every single possible fucking situation.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of times where it's like, no, I agree with the Democrats on that.
Yeah.
Like I like drugs. I don't see making weed should be legal everywhere. I totally agree with the left on that.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a lot of incredibly corrupt and evil people running a lot of the medical stuff that's going on, and we need a real overhaul of the whole health system. Because the way it stands right now, people are not getting the meds they need when they need them. They're not getting the treatment they need when they should be getting the treatment, and it's all based off of some fucking accountant's decision, not a doctor's. Like if it was a doctor making the call and saying that's the wrong medication, all right, well that's something else. You need to address like how doctors are being trained. But if it's just some fucking accountant who's like, no, that's not the right thing to do. We don't want to waste that money on that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
We want you to go with this cheaper option.
That's fucking crazy because that's not how that should work out. You know what I mean? That's just bonkers.
Yeah. Indeed. Oh yeah. Oh, going back to the channel, I literally posed that question just to fucking kind of. I'm like, hey, so I'm kind of indifferent about him. Is it okay if I'm Trump? And the guy on the channel that was in the live stream was like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah. And then everyone else was like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think he's a fascist, but like they were saying shit like that, and I'm like, oh, I won't bring it up again. I don't want to get involved in that. You think Trump is a fascist for some reason? So.
Yeah, I've always that's like some of the shit that the left slings around. It's just really bizarre.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the chick Kamala has been saying, like, she called that press conference just to come out and say Trump's a Nazi.
Here's my problem with the word Nazi. There aren't any Nazis left. They all died in World War II.
Yeah.
And they've since died of old age since then, the vast majority of them. Yeah. Maybe there are a few like in their 90s or something like that, like barely hanging on to life.
Yeah.
But the reality is Nazis were in World War II. They were soldiers of the German army. They were part of the National German Socialist Workers' Party.
Dude, you know what's really funny though, with people like Hassan and Frogan Denims and all. It's one of your favorite fucking epithets is to call people Nazis, but you probably there's at least one subject that you agree on with the fucking Nazis, apparently.
Oh yeah, that the Jews are bad.
Hate Jews. Yeah, so like you're closer to the fucking Nazis than I am. I'm indifferent to the Jewish people for the most part, Don't love them,
some Jewish people are good, some Jewish people are bad. Like it's just There's no like hard and fast rule. If they're Jewish, they're evil or some silly shit like that.
Yeah. So the fact that they call anyone Nazis and like you're closer to them than I am. If you think about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's again. The more I learn about him is he does not bother responding to any of the legitimate criticisms.
Well, it's like Ben Shapiro never fucking debates anybody that's on his level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's
They're always
retarded
debating
college
these
kids or
fucking
something.
like college kids that have zero experience in debates and don't
Yeah.
really understand what they're getting in for and aren't that well informed, and they fucking know it. And it's like,
Yeah.
you're not
Why they
proving
do it.
anything other than that you're an asshole. You know, like, no offense, but
Yeah. Right. But yeah, Hassan doesn't even do that. Hassan is just like his technique is to call them call them unhinged and to say no, like you never engage
oh, I think she was at my door.
when
One
he
sec.
put all that shit out. Oh shit! It is almost 6. Oh, it is 6.
Sorry about that. Somebody was at my door, so I had to answer the door real quick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is 6 though. I mean, we can call it if you want.
Yeah, I mean, dinner's ready, but like, I'm not usually going in
Yeah.
there for a little bit. If you still have more to say,
No, that was pretty much it. I was just pointing out how Hassan just calls people unhinged and says something about bad faith and never addresses anything. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, all those people are scumbags, man. I've gotten to the point where I'm kind of sick and tired of the. Like, I like Matt Christensen because he's fairly balanced, and there's some other people who are fairly like they give a fair point of view of stuff. But there's a lot of people who are just there to farm outrage for cash, and I'm so fucking sick of it. I'm so done.
Yeah, that's Kamala's main fucking thing is. So yeah. Unfortunately for her, like it does really appear that she got where she's at, sucking a few cocks and taking a few dicks.
And it's
and
not
you can't
going to
really
work
do
out
that
well
to
for her
hundreds
now.
of, yeah, she can't fillet the entire fucking, the electorate of the U.S., or at least half of them. So, yeah,
she
yeah,
give it a
I hope she
try.
has that
The
right.
old college try.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it if she did. But yeah, they're really pulling out all the stops, getting pretty desperate.
Yeah, it's getting sad.
That was it. Okay, sorry.
I hope Trump wins.
Trying to
We'll
get
see.
us dragged into something.
I gotta go mail my
really
ballot
hope.
in tomorrow. I gotta go
They're
drive it
worried.
in.
They're definitely, they definitely appear worried about it because they're fucking getting crazy.
Oh yeah,
okay,
when the
sorry,
candidate drops a fucking bomb like the president's a Nazi, or the candidate's a Nazi, that's a big indicator.
Or Biden calling fucking Trump voters garbage. Yeah, it's pretty fucking nuts,
Jesus, really? Wow, that's
you didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah, it just happened like yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday or the day before. I'll see if I can find a video on it. But yeah, he said like Trump voters are garbage. Not in those exact. Well, yeah, no, that is pretty much what he said. I'll find it. That's
fucking hilarious. What a sad and ridiculous thing to do.
Yeah, it's getting pretty nuts, man. So we'll see if Trump lives long enough to get, win the presidency again.
Yeah, really. Hopefully.
Other than that.
Oh yeah, we're
right,
done. Yeah, get out of here, you fuckers.
Yeah,
Nobody's listening, but get out of here nonetheless.